Hey guys, Sean here. Welcome to the F1 Word and to some Canadian Grand Prix qualifying watch-along. Sorry if I'm out of breath. It was just a sprint to go and grab something that I needed for the stream, so I was a bit disorganised with that one, so apologies there, but I hope you're all okay and ready for, well, the qualifying watch-along. Loads to talk about today before we get to that point. And of course, everyone's favourite session of every weekend to look forward to as well, with those hot laps coming later. And rain in the air, so it could get really, really interesting as well today. Did you catch it all yesterday? Soaking wet. Before we get into this properly, though, we have some, look at that for timing, some breaking news for you all. And that is, and it will come as very little surprise, just confirmed from RB that Yuki Tsunoda will stay with the team for 2025. Hands up all those surprised. He's been absolutely fantastic so far this season, so totally deserves this. Literally in the last 30 seconds confirmed. Visa Cash App RB is pleased to announce that it has taken up the option on our agreement with Yuki Tsunoda that will see the Japanese driver stay with the team for 2025. The 24-year-old has spent all four of his Formula One seasons to date with us, showing enormous progress to become the driver he is today. From a pure natural talent to a consistent, aggressive, technically well-prepared racer. On his debut season, he came fourth in Abu Dhabi and now is a frequent top 10 finisher, 3 in a row, of course, this season, which is fantastic. So far this year has been in the points in 5 of the 8 Grand Prix and in the Miami Sprint. Yuki says, very happy to be staying with RB, and it is a good feeling to have my future decided so early in the year. For that, I want to thank everyone at Red Bull and Honda who have played such an important role in my career and will continue to do so. The team, Peter Bayer, I guess, CEO. Yuki is a graduate of both the Red Bull and Honda Junior programs. We know that one. And it's thanks to a good job from all parties that he's been able to reach his current level of performance. As the saying goes, never change a winning team. Of course, RB having won no races this year. But I get the point. I get the point they're making. I'm being sarcastic. I get it. So Yuki Tsunoda is staying with RB next season. Who his teammate will be, I guess we'll find out in the coming weeks and months. But apparently Helmut Marko said, was it yesterday or Thursday, that they're in no rush to announce anything. I guess they want to see what Ricciardo can do. In my opinion, a lot of what Jacques Villeneuve said yesterday, I absolutely agreed with. I've probably been a bit less harsh than he was with it on Daniel Ricciardo, but I think Liam Lawson absolutely next year needs to be in that car. Red Bull as an organisation need to start looking ahead to what is going to happen if Max Verstappen does not stay beyond the end of his contract or leaves earlier than that. They need to start getting somebody ready to fill that seat rather than having to look elsewhere for drivers. Keeping Yuki makes sense. Get him in there. He's settled at the team. It's some continuity as well, which is why they kept with Perez. Get Lawson in there alongside him, alongside that experience. It's a good position for Red Bull to be in longer term. And if Perez doesn't deliver next year or in 2026 or whenever, then they've got 2 drivers there who could fill that void. And I think that's a very, very sensible thing for RB to do there. But I think Lawson for me. What do you think in chat? Do you think Lawson or Ricciardo for next? Because apparently it's between those two, which is going to come as probably less of a surprise than Yuki Tsunoda being confirmed. But I think it is between those two, and I would go with Liam Lawson all day long. I think he did enough to, he beat Yuki, didn't he, in their battle, in the races at least, when they were together for those 4 or 5 races after Ricciardo's accident at Zandvoort. So I don't see why he shouldn't get a shot. And Daniel Ricciardo, a lot of people love him to bits and think he's fantastic, and that's great, but the results aren't there. What I will say is if Daniel Ricciardo rocks up this weekend now, delivers a fantastic performance, and then for the rest of this season absolutely wipes his floor with Yuki consistently inside the top 10, then maybe that conversation changes. But as of today, it's got to be Liam Lawson for me. Absolutely. And I know there are a lot of people who love Danny Rick, and I totally understand why, but I think that change is long overdue. And I know they keep trying to sort of move away from this junior team thing, but the reality is RB is still a Red Bull junior team. Let's face it. They move their drivers around all the time. So there we go. What it means for the rest of the driver market, I have no idea. I was going to talk to you all about Audi today, because I'm really stuck on Audi for the driver market. We might do that later, sort of as we're going through the stream. But, I think, according to Martin Brundle, Ocon pretty much guaranteed to be in the Haas next year alongside, everyone believes, Ollie Behrman. An article in the Daily Mail today saying that Ollie Behrman has signed a secret deal with Haas. That is pure speculation, and typical Daily Mail, it's not really a secret, is it? We all know that Ollie Behrman is probably favourite to take one of those seats next season, so it's not massively surprising. So Ocon alongside him, apparently, if we believe Martin Brundle. You've then got Sainz, sounds like he's going to Williams. That's the favourite now at the moment. So who's going to Audi? Are they going to have to get into a position where they have to stick with either Bottas or Zhou for next year alongside Hulkenberg, which, with all due respect to both those drivers, won't have been the first choices. You've got to make a decision. Do you want to bring Bottas in for the experience? Do you want to tap into the Chinese market and keep Zhou? Really fascinating to see what's going to happen at Audi. So they're my predictions, I guess, is what I'm saying. But we'll see what happens going forward. But great news for Yuki Tsunoda. I'll leave that on screen for a little bit longer for anybody coming in. But Yuki Tsunoda is staying with RB for next season. But we're here for qualifying. We are. Lewis Hamilton this morning or this afternoon topped the final practice session with actually quite a stonking lap at half a second, best part of, quicker than much of the rest of the field. So I don't know where that came from. So a lot of people now think Mercedes in the mix for pole. We've been here before. I'm not so sure. I think this is still going to be Red Bull, McLaren, maybe Ferrari, although Leclerc said in practice we're slow, which is a bit concerning, but we'll see what happens. Not long to wait. We will go over to the watch on screen, of course, in about 20 minutes, 25 minutes time-ish, 20 minutes maybe. We'll do the disclaimers now and all the usual YouTuber spiel. I wanted to get this out of the way as soon as I knew as soon as I went live that was going to drop. So there we go. Yuki Tsunoda confirmed at RB. But your disclaimers, and obviously we're going to go to live timing screen in about 20 minutes or so to watch qualifying. There is no track footage in this stream for obvious copyright reasons. I'm only going to say it once, but I've got Gary over on the other stream who is all prepared to tell you for anybody who asks why there's no footage. It's all there. You'll see what Gary is in a minute. It's ridiculous. And I got bored for 10 minutes, so I made something. So there you go. You can also subscribe to the channel if you are new. Please do. It gives the channel a boost, and don't forget to like as well. Also gives the channel a boost. Yeah, all the usual stuff. Like, subscribe, super chats, Patreon, all of that stuff in the description. And live timing will be provided once again by F1 Multiviewer or Multiviewer for F1. Thank you very much to those guys once again for agreeing to let me use that. Obviously, we have to be careful because of the way F1 runs and FOM. They can be a bit a bit of a pain in the arse, can FOM, so we've got to be careful, but thank you to those guys for letting me use that. It was great last time, really did make the watch on screen look much better, so that's awesome, and well done to those guys for that app. It's fantastic. If you've not got Multiviewer, links in the description, definitely check it out. It's fantastic. It's completely changed my viewing experience, and I'm not just saying that because they let me use the timing. I've been using it for a while now, so that is awesome. One other thing as well before we get into this properly. Just to make you aware, some may already have noticed that my voice has been somewhere else this week, on another channel somewhere. Just to let you know that it's likely that for June, and this probably isn't really much of a change to most people's routine on this channel, but it's likely for June that the content is just going to be around race weekends. I'm working on something with the folks over on Planet F1, helping them with their side of things, doing some narration for them, having a lot of fun with that. It's been I've been absolutely swamped this week. We've been so busy with getting the preview done and all the stuff for those guys as well. So that's going to be what we're doing over there for the next few weeks, see if we can get that channel off the ground, and that's the plan. So more if you're in the Discord server, there's lots of info in there, but yes, it's that's the plan. So just to let you know, probably not a huge amount of content for the rest of June on here, just the race weekend stuff. But to be honest, that's why we're here anyway, isn't it? To watch the racing. So there we go. We can all speculate all the time. But to the news of the week, I wanted to do the news. There's so much of it this week. We've got the 2026 regulations have been, I'm going to rephrase that. The regulations blueprint is probably the best way to refer to that, because there's been some developments, or there have been some developments today. With meetings between FOM teams, the FIA. Teams are concerned about parts of the regulations, things like restrictions on how much they're going to be able to develop the cars, and lots of other areas as well. And it sounds as though these regulations now, this is kind of like the starting point, and then they'll get ratified on the 28th of June, I believe it is, on the World Motorsport Council, and then that's all going to get argued between now and the end of the year. Tweak the rules, make sure the teams are happy, make sure the FIA are happy, make sure FOM are happy, and then we'll get the final rules towards the end of the year when they'll be voted on for the last time. Of course, if you didn't know, engines aside, teams are not allowed to work on anything on their aero until the 1st of January anyway. So there's loads of time between now and the end of the season for these regulations to be tweaked to a point where everyone's happy. I will say I don't want everyone to be happy. I think teams should have to work to make their cars good. I don't want everything to be easy for them, but we don't want teams threatening all sorts if they're not getting their way. But regulations, I'm not thrilled by them. I'm very underwhelmed, actually, is probably the word I'd use. Underwhelmed. So we're going to get a smaller, lighter, and more nimble car. That's one of the headlines. But they're still going to be massively overweight and way too big. So that's a bit disappointing. But I know safety, etc., they've got to be careful. Total car mass will be down 30 kilos. So that's, and the maximum wheelbase, will shrink by 200 millimeters. The total car width will be 100 millimeters narrower. And the maximum floor width reduces by 150 millimeters. And then, of course, you've got the front tyres are going to get smaller as well. I think that's 25 mil and the rear's 30, because the rear's are bigger. Yeah, that's right, yeah. Aerodynamics, we're getting 30% less downforce and 55% less drag. That'll last about a year until the teams manage to recoup all that when they start developing the car. That always happens. We've got active aero, no DRS. Yay. But instead, drivers are going to switch between Z mode to X mode. So you've got high downforce, which is the Z mode, then low drag, which is X mode, which is movable wings, and that'll be done on the straights. It's all very... It's all very out there, and I wasn't expecting some of these bits. We expected the, obviously, the MGH we knew was going for the engine side. We knew that was going 50-50 with the ICE and the electrical power, so that's all, great stuff. Twice as much energy recovery under braking was quite an interesting one. The manual override mode, or MOM, which the memes write themselves, will give the following cars more power to pass, and of course we have fully sustainable fuels as well. So they are your 2026 regulations. I'm sure you've all read them, so I'm not going to go into them. You know my technical brain is not very good. I'm very much about the racing itself. Alfie Alf puts it perfectly. No DRS. Sort of. It's not that different, is it, really? I mean, it is in the sense that it's front wing and rear wing, but it's still bits of aero moving around to make your car go quicker in a straight line. So keep an eye on these regulations over the next few weeks and months, because although they have been approved by the FIA and been revealed by the FIA as a blueprint, the teams aren't overly happy, and things are going to change between now and the end of the year. So it'll be really, really interesting what we come up with. I would say as well, go back to, if you want to, if you've got time, go back and nothing better to do your weekend. Go and check out some of our streams when the 2021 regulations were announced. We said then, we said it constantly, that render you see on Twitter or on the FIA website or on YouTube, cars are not going to look an awful lot like that. They always change so much. Remember when we got the 2022 cars, when they revealed that, what would you call it, a mock-up basically, the show car at Silverstone, and we all went, wow. And then the cars launched the following year, and it was like, well, it doesn't look anything like that, really, does it? So there we go. The bits are similar, of course, but yeah. So just I can't wait to see what they come up with, because it's never as simple as here's a render, all the cars will look like this, and it shouldn't be as well. It's F1. We need development, and I hope the teams do get a bit more flexibility in how they develop the cars, because I don't, this is a car formula. I always want it to be a car formula. There's lots of spec series out there if you want to go and watch that kind of thing, but for me, it's what sets F1 apart. It's an important part of the series, so I want to see that development. But I'm not going to keep banging that drum. I've been doing that for 7 years. You know what I'm like. I love my development, even though I have no idea what most of it means. But it doesn't matter. That's not the point. That is not the point. What was the other news this week? God, it's been loads, hasn't there? Yes, Perez. Perez staying at Red Bull. Ocon leaving Alpine. Both announcements that... I think the Ocon one was more surprising than the Perez one. Because I thought Ocon had a shot pre-Monaco, at least, of staying with Alpine. So I was a little bit surprised that came out. And I think, they're saying Monaco had nothing to do with it, but the timing is interesting, to say the least, isn't it? So I don't know what the thinking is there from Alpine, but they are going to make a change for next year. No massive surprises now after Monaco, I guess. Gasly, Ocon. You don't want it to get too tetchy going into next year. They're already struggling to score points as it is. They just don't need that long term. And I hope we see Jack Doohan get a chance, or maybe that's where a Bottas ends up. I don't know. But it's not really an attractive proposition, that team at the moment. Not only is the car slow compared to what they'd like it to be, but the whole team is in absolute turmoil as well, isn't it? So many changes. It's just constantly moving. So just not very quickly. It's the thing I'd say there. The other Perez staying. We knew this was coming. I said it in the last watch along and race reaction we did. We were expecting this to be announced. It has been now. It's fine. I mean, they want continuity. They obviously didn't want to take Yuki Tsunoda despite how good he's been this year and how strong he was at times last year. They're not going to give him that chance. So I think Yuki Tsunoda's chance of a Red Bull seat are probably quite slim ever. So they weren't going to take him. Lawson's not ready. Ricciardo, absolutely no way is he going to be in that car. He's not good enough at the moment and may never be. We'll see what happens. And nobody else was really available for them. They didn't want Carlos Sainz for some reason. I guess just trying to keep the peace between Max Verstappen and his teammate, and Perez for them is doing enough. So there we go. I think the biggest surprise for the Perez thing, and I know a lot of people will agree with this one, I think the biggest news on the Perez, or the biggest surprise in the Perez thing, is the length of the contract. I thought it was a 1+1. Then it got announced as a 2-year, which was quite surprising. But the thing with Red Bull, as you will all well know, just because you've got a 2-year contract doesn't mean that that's with the main Red Bull team. If they want to move Perez around, they can. Whether or not he'd want to honour that contract himself and go to that to RB or whatever, and that's a whole other conversation. But it's not just a case of you sign for Red Bull, you will be in that Red Bull. They can move you between the 4 cars. So it's not absolutely nailed on that he's there till the end of 2026, but I think it's looking likely. And I kind of get it. Continuity going into new regulations. He doesn't rock the boat too much. His feedback's probably good because of his experience. He gets on well with Max Verstappen. So I get it, but it's a little bit... I messaged... I'll tell you what, I messaged Stuart and Jonty as soon as the news broke. And I was like, you remember back in February when Lewis Hamilton announced he was going to Ferrari, and we went live like immediately. And we were all talking about how great this silly season's going to be. This is going to be the silliest of silly seasons. We don't know what's going to happen. It's going to be absolutely crazy. And it's actually turned out to be a bit of a, well, meh is the word I'm going to use, isn't it? It's not been that thrilling, exciting, silly season we were expecting. Hamilton going to Ferrari, very exciting. Can't wait to see that next year. Going to be fascinating alongside Charles Leclerc. Red Bull have stuck with their drivers. We knew that McLaren was sticking. Aston Martin have stuck with theirs. Who else have we got? Mercedes, probably going to go with Kimi Antonelli, which was rumoured anyway at the time. Yuki Tsunoda staying at RB. Albon's staying at Williams. Hulkenberg's gone to Audi, which I guess for some will be exciting. It wasn't a thrilling announcement for me, but there you go. Nothing against Nico, just wasn't a particularly exciting announcement. Ollie Behrman, we pretty much know he's going to be in that car unless he really, really stuffs it in his FP1 outings. Yeah. It's just not very. The biggest excitement is who's gonna snap up Carlos Sainz, and even that's been a little bit, frankly, ridiculous. I mean, Carlos Sainz has been superb of late at Ferrari. He was the only, you're sick of this stat, the only non-Red Bull driver to win a race last year. He's won a race this year. He's been performing really well, and he's fighting or having to decide between a Sauber seat for next year or a Williams seat. That seems absurd, but that's just the way it's all fallen for him, and I kind of feel for him. I think, I think that Mercedes seat, Sainz for a year or two whilst Antonelli goes to Williams, would make a hell of a lot of sense. But they've obviously decided they want to go with Antonelli, or they are likely to go with Antonelli. So I did do the video of Planet F1 predictions earlier this week. Go check it out on their YouTube channel. Give it some love. I don't know why I said it like that. That was weird. Bit creepy. Apologies. But yeah, go check that one out. But their prediction is very much that if Sainz can just hang on and wait, if he's got the balls basically to hang on and wait to see what Mercedes do, he may get a shot at that seat. But the problem is the seats are closing off now, aren't they? And he's got to make a decision, because if he hangs around, Williams or whoever might say, look, we're not going to wait for you, Carlos. We've got things to do, and we've got a plan for next year. That's what he's got to decide. Can he afford to risk it and wait to see if they do go with Antonelli? Because Mercedes might decide in 6 months' time, we're not quite sure about Antonelli. He's a fantastic young talent. We're very excited about him, but we think he needs a bit of time somewhere else. He goes to Williams. Sainz goes to Mercedes for 2 years. But we'll see. But I think Sainz to Williams is pretty much likely, is the way it is. So yes, so we are about 6 minutes away. Sorry to ramble through all that, but there's just so much, and I couldn't go live till 8:30, so much to get through. And then with the Yuki news breaking, so I'll come to you in chat for 5 minutes of questions. Then we'll do questions and that, and we'll sort of wrap up qualifying after we've done the Watchalong too. And I'll come to you throughout, of course, and we'll have a proper conversation. If you don't know what Watchalong is, by the way, I said it last time, it's like being in the pub with your mates or on a sofa in your living room, just sat watching F1 together and just talking nonsense while we're doing it. So I will keep you updated, of course, what's happening on track. So yeah, I'll come to you in chat. Let's see what's going on. But yeah, the Yuki Tsunoda news is that he is staying with RB for next season. And the Ollie Behrman rumour is that he signed a secret deal, according to the Daily Mail. So, take that with a truck full of salt. Yeah, a secret deal that everyone knew he was going to sign for next year. So Ollie Behrman is not official. That's the rumour, but Yuki Tsunoda is official, and we'll find out who his teammate will be in due course. Yanis, is that how you say it, Yanis? Sorry if I've butchered that. Says, counterpoint, only reason this doesn't sound exciting is because it's the main conversation this year, and everyone has talked to the world's end with it. I think there's an element of that every year, to be honest. I think you've got a point there. But I also don't think the moves have been as exciting as we expected them to be. There was we were talking at one point about Sainz to Mercedes and would Verstappen go to Mercedes and could they try and get Norris out of a contract if they wanted to, and what's going to happen with Albon? Could he get a move up the grid? Could he be in a Red Bull? What's going to happen? There was lots of talk about some big moves, and it's just very much everyone seems quite happy where they are. But then when I look at the grid, in fairness, I can see why drivers are happy where they are. I can see why Alex Albon is happy at Williams, for example. Why leave somewhere where you are performing really well? The team love you to bits. You love the team to bits. You're delivering for them. You're leading that team perfectly well. Why would you leave that to go and sit alongside Max Verstappen and get slaughtered every week? You can see why Alex Albon stayed there, for example. Not that he was going to Red Bull, but you know what I mean. I can see why people are staying where they are. But Tsunoda, lack of options, I guess. Audi were linked. Williams as well. Haas as well. But if your options, if you are Yuki Tsunoda, are a move to Sauber for next year, Williams or Haas, all of which are basically sideways steps, you may as well stay where you are and wait and see what happens for 2026. Because that Audi seat might open up again. They might, you don't know. Audi might stick with Zhou or Bottas for next year, and then they might go for Tsunoda for 26. We'll see. If I'm Carlos, I'd be signing a Williams contract ASAP at this point over waiting for the chance at Merckx. To Sophia, I agree. Sophia, I'm just sort of throwing the idea out there that maybe he could wait and just see what happens. But I think, like I say, those seats are going to close quickly. Williams might not want to wait. Sauber aren't going to want to wait, and he might end up with no seats. So, but that might suit him because he wouldn't mind some rallying, I'm sure. Wouldn't be a terrible idea. So yeah, just so much going on in F1 news-wise at the moment with the regulations, the driver market news, the rain in Canada. I don't know if it's raining now, but we shall keep an eye on that one. I'm going to go to the watch on screen in just a moment and then reposition my chair and have a quick drink so I can watch the session with you all. But yes, we'll get over there in a moment. Do you think F1 should keep Monza or Imola? I feel like no way Italy's keeping 2 races. Asks Moray. Hey, Moray. I think the talk is that they're going to only keep 1, aren't they? And I think if they're keeping 1, it will be Monza. From a nostalgic point of view, from a point that I absolutely love that circuit, it would be great to keep Imola. But I think from a racing point of view, Monza is more likely to give you some action, is it? It's really tough at Imola. But then I like the old school track. So I think of the two, I'd probably prefer to keep Monza. Looking at the history, looking at, it's better for racing, just about. The spectacle of Monza is incredible. The Tifosi, yes, they're great at Imola, but they're even better at Monza. It's bonkers. So as a Ferrari fan, I'd like to keep both, but I'd probably say Monza. But it'd be sad to lose Imola again from a purely historical, nostalgic point of view. Definitely. I don't feel like Monza gives much racing either, just DRS train, says Rolly. Yeah, I had this conversation with somebody the other day. Isn't that kind of what F1 is at the moment? Because these cars are really struggling to follow. And I think every track we go to, we're not, people saying, we can't overtake at Monaco. And I think, but you can't race at Imola. And you think, but what racing did we see? Not every track this year, other than those two, has been epic with racing. And I just, that's kind of where F1 is at the moment. That's why I'm kind of glad we're losing DRS, but also concerned because I don't want us to end up in a situation where, at least if you've got a DRS train, something could happen. If you've just got a train of cars that have no DRS and no aids to help them overtake, or the aids that they have got don't work, it's going to be even worse. So, but then a lot of people argue that, more organic overtaking is probably better anyway, but ask Fernando Alonso about organic overtaking. Ask him how he feels about that from 2010. He'll tell you, I'm sure. Just have a quick look for points. I love Audi, but why as a driver would you go to Sauber, says Marta. I think, do you know what, actually, very quickly, they've just started the music, so I'll go to watch on screen in a second, but that's a great point from Marta, actually, or leads me to a great point. This is the problem with the Audi seat. It's not the idea of going to Audi, it's the fact that you'd have to endure what looks like probably going to be a pretty miserable season at Sauber last year, because they're clearly not going to pump a ton of cash into next year and a ton of effort into next year, because they're probably not sticking with Bottas, so they may not have a choice now, and they're not going to stick with Zhou. So why would you put all that effort in now when you've got, I think Jacques Villeneuve was making a similar point, actually, wasn't he, yesterday, when you've got so much change coming in 26 and a brand new team effectively coming in, with the new owners. So I think a lot of teams, drivers like Sainz, are looking at it and going, I quite fancy the Audi project, but I don't really want to be driving around fighting for 17th place all year next year. And don't forget, it's 32 races across 24 race weekends next year if we include the sprints. Do you want to be doing that in a Sauber? It's a good point from Marta. It's a very good point. And hi, Marta, by the way. Good to see you again. So should we go over to... Oh, hang on. No, wait a minute. We won't go to the watch on screen just yet. Right. This is the part of the stream where regulars know that Sean is trying to do two things at once. Talking and trying to get the watch-along set up. Because I need to wait for the multi-viewer thing to sync up to everything. So just give me a moment and we'll get over there. It doesn't always... Sometimes it's ready well before the session. Sometimes it doesn't start until the session is already sort of almost about to start. So I think, what did we say last week? Do we have 9 seconds after to sync it with TV? Something like that, was it? Chat going, Sean, mate, if you don't know, we don't know. We'll try 9 seconds. It might be a little bit ahead, but it's okay. I can tweak it as we go. And we'll go to my, get the track map up as well. And then we should, love the word, should be ready to go from there. So I'm just going to get that all in there. Let's head over to the watch on screen and I can actually see if we can see if it's working. Is it going to work? Oh, there you go. There's Gary. I forgot to turn him off. Not that I turned Gary on. Stick with me on that one. Yes, I'm going to leave him there while we do this one. Sorry. I'm sorry. I had 10 minutes. I was bored. I created that. Don't tell me that I can't Photoshop. Anyway, so this is the watch-along screen. If you don't know what watch-along is, it's imagine being in the pub, in the living room with your friends, talking about Formula One, watching it together and having a bit of a chat. The live timing is provided by Multiviewer F1. Thank you so much to those guys once again. Links in the description. Go and check them out. Customize your... Fantastic. Lots of data on there. If you love data, go for it. If you don't, still go for it anyway. It's great stuff. What was the other thing I was going to say? I've forgotten now. Don't forget to subscribe as well. Great to have you. I've just seen some people subscribe, so that's fantastic. And drop a like as well. And I will turn Gary off in a minute when we get to the session. Don't worry, he's just there to remind people, no track footage in this stream for obvious copyright reasons. And just to let you know, if we're going to carry on with these watch-alongs, I have ideas for that sort of graphic for the rest of this season. So including a corker involving Liam Lawson. So there you go. There you go. I will turn Gary off now. I have a tap the sign thing here. I'm just going to resize that track map for you all. So sorry, you're going to have to watch me do this on a stream. Apologies, just a little bit bigger so we can actually see what's going on here. That's my plan anyway. So let's put that there for you. Should be pretty visible there. So there we go. All good. So I'm now going to put my headphones on now. I'm very organised. I'm very, very organised. Excuse the noise. I'm not organised at all. Rain is 80% likely, says RC. Yes, please. Let's have some. Let's have some. Why not? Football chat. I'm watching football chat now in the chat instead of the F1. So I'll stop that immediately. RC, pack it in. Thank you to Eric for your super chat. Says thoughts on Alonso's poor pace as of late. Thank you very much for your super chat and support, Eric. Anybody want to put your own super chat in? Feel free. I'll always read them out and I'll try and answer them as best I can. I think Alonso's been a bit unlucky with, what's the word? What did mitigating circumstances? So he crashed. I mean, he crashed in him. That was his mistake. Got caught out in qualifying in Monaco. And I think they're big contributors. But I think sessions like today with mixed conditions, I think we'll get to see what Fernando's all about again. I don't think he's suddenly... I'm not suggesting you're saying that, Eric, but I don't think he's suddenly just forgotten how to drive. Definitely not. So hopefully we'll see some good pace from Fernando. I'd love, you know what I'd love today? A Lance Stroll pole. It's not going to happen. That rhymed, lovely. It's not going to happen, but a Lance Stroll pole would be absolutely incredible today. His one and only pole was when I was live, so I upset people because I swore. Big time. We are green for qualifying. There we go. For the Canadian Grand Prix. I'll just have a little check everything's all right here with the timings going to come on TV. Ready for this one. Quali's just starting, Tommy. We're ready to go, mate. All ready to go. Good to see you. Hope you're well. Let's see what's going to happen in this one. We had a great, really qualifying session in Monaco. And if we've got, hey, John says dry Q1, rain expected for Q2. So there you go. We have got rain in the air. It does look quite, well, it looks like Canadian Grand Prix quali. We're all excited for it. Track looks fantastic and it looks a bit dreary in the sky. A bit cloudy. So this could be good. Yes, we've got cars out on track. So out there at the moment, we have got Zhou Guanyu, Pierre, Esteban, Ocon, Logan, Sargeant, Lance Stroll, and the 2 Red Bulls just exiting the pits. And Norris has been told had light drops reported from turn 7 and turn 8, but we don't see anything on the radar. Very light drops. I love that. I love how technology completely changes everybody's just how everybody deals with things. Oh, there's drops of rain at 7 and 8. We don't see anything on the radar. Yeah, but there's drops of rain, mate. Doesn't matter what the radar says. It's raining. It's like going out with mum for the day. So, do you think I need a coat for the day? And I'm like, oh, hang on a minute. Look out the window. Oh, you know, it's nice and dry, mum. You're fine. I know what she means. I'm not being mean to my mum. It's fine. Alex Albon getting ready to go out. It could be sweat, John Jones. Good point. Yeah, it might just be a little bit of sweat. That was George. Was that George Russell last year, or was that the year before in Spain? 16:10. We're not. Yeah, we're pretty much. We're maybe about a second behind the TV, so we should always sync up quite nicely. I think actually RC, just to RC's, but I think he's talking about cricket, which I definitely do not watch. Hey Cornelius. Cornelius says hello, beautiful people. Hello Cornelius. So Stroll's going to start up. He's going to be first one, so he's going to be top of the timesheets, I think, then, won't he? If he's going to be first to do a lap out there. So good opportunity for him to get the crowd excited. He's not. Is he pushing? No, tyres are cold. So he's backed out of that one straight away. Tyres are cold, says Lance Stroll. So that's the end of that one as he comes through turns. I get them mixed up. The chicane bit. Turns 3 and 4. We need all the midfield teams to set a lap and then a red flag. Really mix it up, says John T. Or not even that, just the midfield teams get their laps in and then the rain falls just as the front team starts to do their lap and then it doesn't dry. And then they're all out. I am not watching my PC, RC. I've got my TV, so I've got a TV in here as well. So I'm watching it on there on my Sky box, my Sky Q mini box thing. I don't know how to so specific, I just did. And then I've got my PC doing all the streaming work. I'm looking to get a new PC in the near future. Something that's properly future-proofed and as good as I can get it. And then I might keep my second PC and try and do like a 2 PC streaming setup so that it's not going through quite so much. Because it does go through a lot with everything I've got open and everything working. So, bless it. It's good. We're going to get Lando Norris's purple and purple. Max Verstappen, 2 greens, obviously, because it is his first lap. He's going to come to the line. We're a long way off the practice times. It's a 1:15.1. From Max Verstappen. I think Lewis Hamilton was 1:12.5 or something around there, wasn't he? Yep, Norris into the final. Sorry, I was just reading something in chat there. Norris coming out the final corner, not quite in the wall like Alex Albon was this morning. Yeah, we are a long way off this morning's or this afternoon's times earlier today from the. Is it raining? Was that rain? Sometimes I spot rain. I'm one of those people. I just see water everywhere. It's a condition, I swear. Marta is 45 seconds behind. That sucks. Sorry, Marta. Yeah, ring Sky and tell him it's out of order. That's all I can say. I don't know how watching IndyCar this weekend, by the way. Is it on the red button or something? Because it says it's on Sky Sports, but it's not because we're watching qualifying the race. So I don't quite know what's going on there. But yeah, let me know, John T, because I'll need to know for later because I'm enjoying my IndyCar. Although the last race was crap. Let's be honest. Not the race you want after the Indy 500s. Sky Sports Mix. Thank you, John T. That's perfect. Definitely rain between FP3 and Q, says Dell. Yes. That'll be why the lap times are where they are, mate. Yeah, good point. Thank you for that, Del. Norris goes fastest, 14.5. As I've already said, we've got Lance Stroll now doing his laps. His tyres are up to temperature. Nice and close to the wall on exit. But we're down in the 1 minute 14s here. And Stroll does Stroll goes fastest on 1:14.519. So we are down in the 1:14s here. Which is, or up in the 1:14s, I guess, isn't it, technically? So bad news. Bad news, lap time-wise. Frustrating. As George Russell goes purple in the first sector. Perez has very low grip on his team radio. Russell's flying half a second quicker than Stroll in the middle sector. So there we go. I think the times will tumble, of course, but if the rain suddenly comes, it's going to cause some chaos. But I think we've missed the point now, John, to where if the rain falls, it's going to mix things up. Although Hamilton, Alonso, yeah, some drivers down there yet to really get a time in. That'll change. Russell's going to set the fastest time here. He's coming to the line. Alonso does a 14.4, a tenth quicker than his teammate. Russell does a 14 flat, 4 tenths quicker. Lewis Hamilton a 14.4. So Russell, pretty good lap there actually compared to the others, as Piastri does a 14.3 and goes second. All very good. Yeah, absolute Stroll dominance. Very boring for fans. Very, very boring for fans. We're going to see someone hit the wall here. I said he was close. Oh, you don't want to be any closer than that, Lance. That was almost perfect. Did he touch it? No. Understeering, yeah. Very understeery, but what's happening here? So lap time deleted for Carlos Sainz, 1:22.0, turn 2. I shouldn't worry, he's going to cut the corner. Yep, there we go. Yeah, that 1:22 wasn't going to do anything, was he? Still waiting for the rain if it's going to come. Magnussen goes second, 14.0. I'm not going to get hyped up about Haas this weekend. Albon goes fourth. Norris is about to go quickest, I think. And does indeed. Does he? Yes, he does. 13.5. 4 tenths quicker than George Russell. So time's coming down. But rain for Q2 could be interesting here. 9000 series AMD. Says Pedder. Is that PC talk? Yes. Yeah. Stroll's gone purple first sector. I think is everybody out there pretty much, I think. Yeah, literally every driver on track, so traffic could be an issue. It seems to be getting out of the way in that final chicane. So we'll see what happens when they get down there. Logan Sargeant wasn't happy in practice with some of the traffic earlier today. Coming down to the final chicane. It's all a bit, it feels a bit, well, it's a typical rain in the air practice session. We had a brief yellow flag there at turn 1. But Stroll goes second fastest, just a few thousandths of a second, 2,000ths of a second off Norris, as Sargeant goes fifth on a 14.2. And Daniel Ricciardo goes third on a 13.9. I had to stop the stream to get in on pace with my TV. Low and hello from the Lone Star State, as always. Hey, Jonathan. Hope you're all right, mate. Having a good one, enjoying qualifying. At least you're synced up to the stream, so that's good. That's a good thing. Verstappen, 13.3. He's gone fastest by just over a tenth and a half. What's Perez going to do? Only 15th. You don't want to be celebrating your new contract down there, Perez. You need to be on it, Checo, mate. This is going to be... These are the sessions I love, where everything's just sort of building as the session goes on in Q1. Times are slowly coming down, then last across the line. Boom. Stroll whacked the wall. I thought he had him. We're on board with him. Hit the wall quite hard. That's hard, yeah. Harder than he'd want to, but not that hard. So there we go. Lots of sparks as well. Just, oh, lovely. That's the kind of shot. I hope XPB got a shot of that one. That'd be cool. Pat is from Western Cape, South Africa. Hello, Pat. Are you hoping, Pat, for a South African Grand Prix soon? Back to Kyalami would be epic, wouldn't it? Yeah, feel free to let me know where you're from. I can't promise I can read everybody out because we're keeping an eye on qualifying. But if I spot some that catch me off guard, and this is where John's going to be like, oh, I'm from Timbuktu or something like that. I knew it. Yes, Cornelius. Danny Rick is looking good. He is looking good. Mays from the US. That's all right. It's actually said I might not shout it out. Just on the dang, I was like, that's fine. You'd be from the US. No problems. So Norris is staying out. Oh, no, he isn't. He's come in. So he's going to do multiple runs. Everyone's starting to pit now, which is going to be interesting. Lap time's a little for Lewis Hamilton, 37.3. I need to keep an eye on the feed over there on multi-viewer. There we go. Hamilton, the thing is about his purple in the middle sector. It's just one of those, it's one of those sessions where they're just sort of going around and putting the laps in at the moment. It's going to be as this gets down to the last couple of minutes where it's really going to pick up. And I think that'll be same for Q2 and Q3 if we see no rain, because they're going to need to get out there and get their laps in just in case the rain comes. Those banker laps basically. But the track is definitely rubbering in nicely, and the times are coming down. Russell fastest 13.2, not a 33.2, 13.2. Verstappen a tenth behind. Hamilton a little bit more behind, but not much. And then about a tenth back to Norris in third place. In fact, Stroll only 3 tenths off the fastest time. So what we're watching here on the replay into the chicane at 3 and 4, is that going to be a Mercedes in the way of Oscar Piastri and an RB if he's on a fast lap? Penalties there, maybe. I'm not sure. It's Yuki Tsunoda and Lewis Hamilton he's come across. That could go either way. I'd be surprised if there's a penalty there. They've stayed far enough away, I think, but maybe distracting for Piastri. I don't know. Jack is from his kitchen. Typical Jack. Josh is from New Zealand. Sorry, not laughing at Josh being from New Zealand, just Jack being Jack. And this is Charles Leclerc into turn 1. Not happy with the drivers on the inside, but they were well out of the way. They weren't really impeding, but I mean, it is distracting, isn't it? When you're trying to turn his turn 1, you've got cars on the inside there before the corner. But yeah, that's the way it goes. Alfie, yes, has YouTube not reminded you? I don't know what's up with YouTube. Sometimes it sends out notifications, sometimes it doesn't. It notified Jack of the preview, which amazed me. It never tends to bother with anybody, but there you go. So we've got coming up to, just under 6 minutes to go now. We're looking at Pierre Gasly at the minute on TV. Coming up to Kevin Magnussen just getting out of the way on the run to turn 6. Nicely through there, Pierre. DRS open. He's weaving, so I don't think this isn't a hot lap. He's definitely weaving down there, so tyre temperature not good. What can Perez do? Your drop zone is currently Zhou 20th, Ocon 19th, Gasly 18th, Perez 17th, and Piastri in P16. So hopefully, those guys can get some laps in, and Perez can't afford to be down there again this weekend. Definitely not. Primeval says being a Zhou fan is painful. Yeah, not been a great weekend for Zhou, has it? With the 2 crashes in practice this weekend. Perez pits. It was personal best, but he's pitted. So we're going for new tyres. Obviously. I don't know. Perez hasn't been great this weekend so far, but we've only seen practice, and I still think that you sort of expect him to put a lap in, but we said that in Monaco and things, didn't we? So we'll see. Where is Max? Max is P2 at the moment. Just over a tenth off George Russell, who has the fastest time. Is multi-view that far ahead of F1 TV? Feels like 15 seconds stream and broadcast, says, is it year? Sorry, I'm terrible. Terrible pronunciation. No, this is synced up. Multi-view is 1 second behind my TV at the minute. And then the stream is 10 seconds. As I say this, you're hearing it 10 seconds down the line because of the latency on YouTube. So that's maybe where that comes from a little bit. But on my side, I mean. But I'm not, this is pretty well synced up to the TV this time. I often get it wrong, to be fair. But, yeah. Perez says, fun fact, Max hit the wall of champions in FP3, but no damage. He is now a real champion. There you go. Confirmed. They didn't count until that point. Gasly's on a hot lap now. He did get some temperature into the tyres. For a run, he's going to get a nice little... Oh, no, he's back to us. A nice little tail off the Williams there. Race Control will look at the Hamilton-Tsunoda Piastri incident for impeding at turn 4, so keep an eye on that on social media in 16 hours' time when they finally make a decision. And then out the final corner, is he there? Yes, he is. That's a great shot from the grandstand. Over the line goes Gasly. That's a great lap from Pierre Gasly. 1:13.2. Again, these times are going to tumble. That's a really strong lap from Pierre Gasly. Kevin Magnussen goes 8th. And Piastri now needs this to be a good lap. He's going to get some more runs in yet. Probably another couple. No, they get a cool-down lap. He goes 11th. They'll get a cool-down lap, won't he? And then Stroll goes fastest on 13 flat. Yeah, ignore the Gasly hype. Ignore the Gasly hype. Alonso goes second, 13-1. This is where it gets interesting. Hang on, I need to readjust my position now. I'm watching chat and qualify. I need to just watch this because this is about to get. Sorry if I'm banging on the mic, by the way. It's just the only way I can reposition it. It's a sensitive microphone. It's a sensitive thing. It's like me, way too sensitive. Daniel Ricciardo goes 8th. Norris gone fastest, 12-9. This is all going to get very, very chaotic now, I think. Tsunoda goes up to 4th on 13-1. Everybody except Max Verstappen out on track. I suspect he'll be out pretty quickly, though, as he comes in. Downshifts are not very nice as well, he said. And he got the weighbridge as well, which is going to be doubly frustrating for him. So he'll go up on that. We'll keep an eye. Max has gone out. I was going to say, he's going to have to, but he has gone out. So there we go. Yes, Stroll is fastest, Jonathan. Not anymore. Norris is there now. Norris is there. Yes, I have no idea, Jimmy. It's if we're going to start with riddles, there you go. There you go. There you go. Very good. There's always one, and today it's Jimmy. That's all right, Jimmy. Anything for a laugh, mate. Or anything for a laugh. We're coming into the last minute and a half, then I'll start talking over what's going on track as Hamilton goes fastest. 880 of you here. Thank you so much for tuning in. Please do drop a like. Only 81 likes. Everyone appreciated. Really helps the channel out. Please do drop a like and subscribe as well so you don't miss out on the future content. We're going to be live tomorrow after the race with Stuart again to react. Some race reaction to chat about the race. Surprisingly, in a race reaction. Shocking, I know. So please do drop a like and subscribe so you don't miss that. Really appreciate the support. Here we go then. Last minute. 60 seconds left of Q1. Everybody on track. Everybody needs to be improving here, really. Except maybe those in the top 3 might be, or top 4. Sainz just moved up there now to 4th place. Might be okay. But these times are going to tumble throughout this session. So where we are now is not where we are in Q3. Unless the rain falls, it is in the air. Rain is in the air. Anyway, Charles Leclerc through the final chicane nicely towards the wall of champions. A little bit more on time on the table there, maybe. But you can worry about that in Q3 if he gets that over the line. And only 6th for Leclerc on a 1:13.1 purple final sector. Bottas moves up to 12th place on a 1:13.3. Sergio Perez, he needs this lap. He is his personal best. Personal best. And only 12th for Sergio Perez. Piastri's gone second. Perez only 12th. He's got to charge the batteries. He can't. That's him done. He needs to hope that nobody else behind him really improves. Ricciardo, Ocon, Albon, Hulkenberg, Joe in the drop zone. Verstappen, as the checkered flag comes out, is hurtling down the back straight on a purple lap. Logan Sargeant goes P6 on a 13-0. Ricciardo goes 12th. Perez is in trouble here. Perez is in big trouble again here. Jack, lack of surprise, as Verstappen goes fastest on a 12.3, so he is safe. Alex Albon is flying. Tsunoda goes second. Sargeant up in 8th place. He is through, surely, from that position. Perez is on the bubble here, and Alex Albon is absolutely on it. Is he going to get through into Q2 and knock Sergio Perez out? Yes, he is. He goes 4th. Sergio Perez is out again. Wow. Sergio Perez, for the 2nd weekend in a row, is out in Q1. He said, "Oh no, this is terrible." I won't repeat the words there. But, I mean, the laps, I said they were going to keep tumbling. Tsunoda went P2. Albon went P4. Logan Sargeant was P9. He's through. And on the week where Sergio Perez was confirmed as extending his deal at Red Bull for 2 more years, he celebrates it with a 2nd consecutive Q1 elimination. I know Red Bull have had their problems, but Sergio Perez, a second off his teammate, you know, and I know that Max Verstappen is Max Verstappen. That's the comparison is just pointless. You know, it's the talent's there, but he shouldn't be a second off and down there when your teammate's top there. I don't know what the hell has gone on with Sergio Perez, or is going on with Sergio Perez, but that is just simply not. I know the track's constantly evolving. I know times are always going to tumble in those situations, and the last few minutes can be dramatic, but that's when the best drivers are able to get it together, keep focused, hook up a lap, and deliver the lap they need to. Verstappen, Hamilton, Norris, Leclerc, Sainz, Alonso, all through. Ricciardo through, for goodness sake. Sergio Perez, bless him. Sergio Perez out once again. He's joined by Bottas, who is going to be 17th, Ocon 18th, but he won't be because he'll start from last because he's got that 5-place grid drop. Hulkenberg 19th, and Zhou Guanyu in 20th place. Probably the least surprising thing there is Zhou Guanyu 20th. He's had a shocker of a weekend, 2 crashes in practice, so he's not had a lot of track time, so I'm not surprised that he's down there. But there you go. So the negative, Sergio Perez out again. The positive, Logan Sargeant in P9. What a lap that was from him. 7 tenths off the fastest time by Verstappen. And only a couple of tenths off his teammate, actually, less than. So that's a pretty solid lap there from Logan Sargeant. So well done to Logan, especially with all the rumours at the moment about his future. You know what's going to happen. You know exactly what's going to happen. Sainz will get confirmed before the Spanish Grand Prix. And then Logan Sargeant is going to be actually bothered to turn up and start being absolutely bloody brilliant for the rest of the season. You can see where it's going to go, can't you? Dell says, but at least Perez isn't challenging Max, who's a perfect Red Bull number 2. If their only goal, Dell, is the Drivers' Championship and they don't want him fighting Max, then sort of, yeah. The Constructors' Championship, they need him up there with McLaren and Ferrari being so strong. You know this, Dell. I'm not, I'm saying it for the benefit of everybody, but you know this. But they also do need him up there to help Max with the Drivers' Championship, because when let's say perhaps living in Fantasyland, but let's say that Leclerc and Norris become genuine challengers to Verstappen this year for the title. All hypothetical, I know that, but let's say they do. Piastri and Sainz can help those two against Verstappen. But Verstappen needs his teammate there with him, and Perez can't afford to be doing this. So it's, yeah. Just something from the stewards. Q1 incidents involving Sargeant, Ricciardo, Albon, Bottas, Sainz, Hulkenberg, Russell, Hamilton, Piastri, Norris, Verstappen, Perez, Stroll, Ocon, and Alonso, and Tsunoda. All noted, failing to follow race director's instructions regarding the maximum delta time. As we know, nothing will happen there, so I don't know why they bother doing it, but there we go. Rules is rules, I guess. So there, yeah. Let me know in chat. You tell me. This, we're here together. We're watching this together. So, you're my watch-along buddies today. What do we think about the Perez situation? What's going on? To say Perez has been a bad qualifier in his career is not true. He can qualify. He's qualified very well throughout his career, but he's always been stronger on race day, I would say, than in qualifying. But even though that car is struggling at certain tracks, that's not acceptable. I don't. If it happens once because of freak conditions or a mistake or a mechanical problem, fine. But when it's twice in a row on pace, it's concerning, isn't it? Pedal wants to know about traffic. I didn't see there's any traffic. It didn't look like it. When he crossed the line, he looked in clear space, but that doesn't mean that he's... It doesn't mean that earlier in the lap he didn't have traffic, as Sky again talked to Laura McKees and my Liam Lawson is sat there chatting or watching from the pit wall, and I'm just looking at him as we're on Bubba Yuki Snowden. I think that's your teammate for next year. Come on. It's got to be Liam Lawson. Chris says Perez isn't the top 10 drivers on the grid. How does he have the second best seat on the grid? We might come back to that later, Chris. I haven't got a list of the drivers. Well, I have it, so that's there. Not going to say the names, to say the numbers. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. No, I think he makes the top 10, but I take the point. I think he makes the top 10, unless I've missed several drivers there. Well, maybe 9. I think he makes the top 10, but I take your point. Either way, it's not good. It's not good enough. Do you want something exciting though? The ponchos are going on in the grandstands. I think we're getting some rain. which is about to get very interesting. They're all on softs. They're going to get out there, and they are just going to absolutely... This could be brilliant. And then we're going to have 3 minutes of thrilling action, and then the rest of the session will just be really boring as they sit in the garage because there's no point going out because they can't improve. But yeah, again, Perez, disappointing. Sargeant, absolutely fantastic. So well done to him. We are green for Q2. While they're doing their out laps, and the rain is falling, and the rain is it is falling. Not too hard, but hard enough to make you go, ah, the rain's coming. Sargeant can't outqualify Albon, but now outqualified Perez multiple times. Yeah, I saw that stat. Is it McGurk? There was a stat on Twitter the other day that said that Perez, obviously with crashes and other things, I think has outqualified... Sargeant has outqualified Perez 5 times over the last few years. And that's another one on genuine pace there. So there you go. Charlie is at the Widdens Premier Inn. I can't ever say that. Hi, Charlie. Sorry. Or is it Widnes? Yeah, you know who you are, Charlie. Jacques Villeneuve, better attractive support for Perez. Yeah. Jacques Villeneuve's been... I'm not a massive Jacques Villeneuve fan, but I said to Johnsy, I found myself nodding when he said stuff this weekend and going, do you know what? He's bloody right. But, you know, he is what he is. It is Jacques Villeneuve. I've always been a Perez fan, but today makes me wonder who made the decision to choose him over Tsunoda for the next 2 years. Holy moly, says TFFW. Holy moly is a great expression. I love that one. Well done, William, says Pat. Absolutely agree. Fantastic, both cars through. Rolly says, I mean, ideally would want someone I thought RB... I'm sorry, I'm reading that completely wrong. Would want somebody... in that Red Bull taking it to Max, but at least someone doing a better job than this. I think that's my point. You know, if your goal is ultimately you don't want Max Verstappen to be challenged by a teammate and you want him to be your number one, that's fine. You know, it worked for Ferrari with Schumacher, for goodness sake. So it worked very well there. They won lots of titles together. So that's fine. But you still need your second driver, like Barrichello used to, being right up there with him all the time. And I think that's... Yeah. I saw Johnson say something a minute ago. It's not hypothetical at this point. Perez has already lost the World Constructors Championship with Red Bull, calling it now. But the constructors I'm kind of on the same page. I was talking about the drivers, like hypothetically, if Norris and co are and Leclerc and whoever else is close to Verstappen for the championship, they need Perez up there to do that one. Pat says, I'm not a particular fan of Perez, but his car is nowhere as fast as Verstappen's. Makes one wonder. I'm not sure about the cars, but I just don't think that I just don't think Perez is as fast as Max at all. Not many will be in that car. Not many will be, but we've got some time. We've got some times on the board. Come on, let's go. We are close to the 12-minute mark in Q2. Over the line goes George Russell with a 1:13.1. The rain is coming down. These laps could be critical. Lewis Hamilton sliding back end out in the final corner. Over the line he goes on a 1:13.1. He goes fastest. Verstappen just starting his lap. The rain is falling. I'll keep saying it because it's happening. It's happening. Like I say, the laps are needed now. Verstappen is on his lap. Keep an eye out for yellow flags because we'll know. Down the straight for Oscar Piastri. Sainz goes fourth. Norris goes fourth. Piastri, sorry, it was Norris on board with, not Piastri. Look at the helmet, Sean. It's right there. So Oscar Piastri, purple in the middle sector. This is going to matter. Here he goes. Oscar Piastri goes fastest on a 1:12.462. Max Verstappen up at the hairpin. Is it nice and dry there for him? Verstappen, yep, nicely turned in there. We're on board with him. Verstappen, race control incident, failing to follow race director's instructions. So that's been noted. I'm guessing that's going to be cutting a chicane and not rejoining properly, maybe, would be my hunch there. Tsunoda goes 7th. Verstappen through the final chicane, nicely up against the wall, foot to the floor, and over the line he goes. 1:13.0. Yes, what we're going to get from Albon here. Alex Albon over the line then, so I was having a drink. I should announce when I'm having a drink, so you know when I go quiet that I've not passed out or something, you know. Collapsed on the floor. I'm dead or something, I don't know. Sainz over the line, 1:13 flat. He goes second. Again, these times probably going to go the other way. Do we reckon? Thinking about it. Yeah, what Jack said. If you're looking for a stream, Google is your friend there. We can't share them. It's a fight enough with YouTube and FOM sometimes. So don't make me get Gary. I'll get Gary. That's going to mean nothing to the majority of people tuning in right now because they won't have seen Gary. But don't make me get Gary. Russell, purple and purple. He's going to go fastest here. Tsunoda goes fourth on a 1:12.9. Doesn't seem like the track's getting too wet. It'll be greasy. Something to think about, but I'm not going to pull out the line that Martin Brundle says about streaming down your visor. You'll know the one. Russell does go fastest on a 1:12.3. That's a good lap. That is a good lap. Pit lane incident involving car number one, Verstappen. So that's the pit lane incident. So that was him pushing into the queue, I'm guessing. So that'll be I assume that'll be reprimand. It's usually a reprimand for that sort of thing, is it not? Or a fine. They're not gonna, or a warning. I don't think that's going to be a sporting penalty. He's not happy there with a Mercedes, I think it was. Max Verstappen. Just move out of the way. I bet he did that on purpose, says Max. Okay. There you go. Hey, Ruby. I thought it was you for ages, Ruby. I said Ruby twice there. I just did. Hope you're all right, Ruby. Good to see you. I was going to say you're hoping for a Lewis Hamilton pole today, but that was possibly the most stupid question I've ever asked anybody. Of course you are. Of course you are. Here goes Sargeant then. Could he do it? Q3? He's pushing. He is pushing very hard. Fastest sectors, Russell, sector 1, 21. Russell 22.8 in the middle, and Verstappen 29 flat in sector 3. The answer to Sargeant getting through is going to be no at the moment because he's 3/10 slower than the time that is he needs to get out. But at the moment in the drop zone is Max Verstappen, 6 thousandths off Carlos Sainz. So Verstappen, Stroll, Albon, Gasly, and Sargeant. Piastri's exposing Norris, says. Is it Jean-Claude? Sorry, I was squinting then to see it. Like, I'm sat a little bit away from the chat at the minute, but I can still see you. I'll see you. Under 8 minutes now, so we are on our way. But the rain doesn't seem to be causing too many problems. Everyone's still out there on slicks, but the clouds are gathering, so we might get a wet Q3. Could be interesting. We've got that gap as well between Q2 and Q3 of a few minutes, which could see some rainfall. But I guess once you've got your temperature in the tyres, you should be good. But it's going to be greasy out there. Verstappen at the moment still in the drop zone. I think he can need some fresh tyres maybe at this stage. So what we got? So we've got Russell currently fastest, then it's Piastri, Hamilton, Norris, and Leclerc. 0.450 between the top 5. Alonso's in P6 and Magnussen in P7. Both the RBs, Ricciardo in 8th and Tsunoda 9th, are inside the top 10, obviously. Carlos Sainz is 10th, Max Verstappen 11th, 6 thousandths of a second off Carlos Sainz, and has found George Russell again. Stroll 12th, Sargeant 13th, Albon 14th, and Gasly 15th. Currently in the pits are Piastri, Norris, Alonso, Magnussen, Ricciardo, Tsunoda, Stroll, Albon, and Gasly, and Sargeant has just come in now as well. So let's see what Verstappen could do here. He is improving, personal best and personal best. So green and green. Green is personal best if you're new to F1. Purple is fastest overall. And yellow is pick up the pace, lads. You're not quick enough. Over the line he goes. That's not the official explanation. Only 9th. But that's quite a used set of tyres now, isn't it, that from Verstappen? So that's not massively surprising. But then it's about getting temperature in new tyres, unless I'm forgetting something. But you need several laps to get the tyres temperature. Sainz only 8th as well, so this is we could get some surprises here. We've already lost Sergio Perez if you're just tuning in. Checo is gone. He was gone at the end of Q1. Not good at all. He wasn't happy either. Leclerc over the line doesn't improve, stays 0.450 off the top and 5th place as drivers are pulling into the pits now for some new tyres or whatever they're doing. I'll keep an eye on the thing. Sainz had a lap time deleted for track limits at turn 13, but it was a 1:42.8, so I think he's fine. Thank you to Katie for subscribing. Just saw that at the corner of my eye there, so you got a shout out, Katie. I don't always do the shout outs for subs, but thank you very much. Appreciate that. Please do subscribe if you're new and drop a like as well. 1,400 of you here, 139 likes. Let's get that well over 300, a million. I don't know how we do it, but let's do it. As many as it doesn't pay me anything, but it really helps the channel with the algorithm, and we'll get lots of people in then for the next watch along and the reaction tomorrow and all of that. So always good to get lots of people in for these streams. It's nice to hang out with you all on a Saturday evening or Saturday night now here in the UK at 9:35. I don't know why I had to tell you that. I just felt like I needed to. So there you go. Some trouble there for Sargeant, it looked like. In the pits, and Russell, big swapper on the exit of turn 4. Nearly hit the wall with his back end. That was a big slide. He said, "Holy moly!" Is that our phrase of the stream? Holy moly! It's the second time we've heard that. Whoa, that's a big one. That's a nice catch. Nice catch from George Russell there. It's not the fastest way in an F1 car, but it does look good. That's for sure. Everyone out on track now except Leclerc, Magnussen, Sainz, and Verstappen coming up to the 4-minute mark. I do watch it on TV. It's just easy. My PC goes through enough when streaming. I don't need to have this open as well. So just leave it on the TV. It's just easier. It's less hassle. Less hassle for me, definitely. Let's see. Over the line, Albon's going to start his lap. Joe says, waiting for my girlfriend to have a free house, Sean. You are my entertainment until then. There we go. Good to see you, Joe. Thank you for popping along. Popping along. Now, I don't get much of British. Do that speaking as if I was the king, the king's English. Popping along. Alex Albon absolutely flat out on this at turn 4, really pushing hard, and he is up on Verstappen, so that would be enough to get through half a tenth, but you'd expect Verstappen to improve, definitely. I say that, I've just got to jinx it, haven't I? Verstappen fans are going to hate me now. Albon, what's he going to do through the middle sector? Oh, Stroll is a tenth and a half up on Verstappen, so looking good here for Lance Stroll. I predicted he'd get knocked out in Q1 in the preview on Thursday. How wrong was I? Let's not do that again. That's always a fun game. Sean's often wrong, so it's not really a great surprise. But Albon, again, back at really pushing. He's ringing that car, ringing the neck of it. Love it. Great driving. Maybe not the quickest way, but, it's fun to watch. He is improving, though. Personal best and personal best. At the moment, just to let you know, Logan Sargeant is P5. He couldn't, could he? Of all the weekends, over the line goes Alex Albon into P8, a 1:12.9. So he'll get a chance to go again. If he doesn't improve, though, this could be Logan Sargeant's day. And again, I don't actually believe in the jinx, but I'll keep saying it because it's a laugh. I think I've just ruined that for Logan Sargeant, but there you go. Logan Sargeant 15th. Tsunoda is half a second, or getting on for half a second, 0.418 quicker than Magnussen on the time to get through. So Tsunoda is on it. The V-carbs, or the RBs, or the whatever you want to call them, the Toro Rossos, I prefer that, are really performing today. It's great to see. Ricciardo's going to be the first of them to get across a little toe off Gasly as they come across the line. It is Ricciardo goes up to 4th place. Good lap. Tsunoda really wide in the final corner. What can he do? He goes into 2nd place, Yuki Tsunoda, a tenth of a second off Norris. Are we going to get a similar thing to what happened at the end of the last session? Hex said Logan Williams extension incoming. Oh, imagine. Max Verstappen is on a lap now. He needs this. This is his one and only chance, and he is up 2.5 tenths up on Leclerc. That is only a time to get through, though, so he's not. Norris is still fastest on the 12.2. This is going to be... he needs this lap, Max Verstappen, or he is out, and we could have Red Bulls 14th and 16th at best. We'll see what happens. We've got a minute 20 to go. I mean, you could technically get another lap in, but you need to recharge your batteries and all of that, so there's just no way there'd be any point going for the lap. He's looking good here. Nearly 3 tenths up on Sargeant, who's now on the bubble in P10. What's Logan Sargeant doing out there at the moment? He is not improving in the first sector, is Sargeant, unless this is an outlap, but it won't be when it's too far away from the line. Hamilton purple, middle sector, 3.5 tenths. So he's going to improve. So we're under a minute left. Max Verstappen, just feeding it through that last chicane. Twitching all over the place. What's he going to do? Over the line goes Max Verstappen and goes P5 on a 1:12.5. He might be okay there. What's Lewis Hamilton going to do? He should be quickest. He was in the middle sector, pretty rapid in the first sector. Over the line he goes for P1. 1:11.9. First into the 1:11s, I believe. Correct me if I'm wrong. Knockout time projected 1:12.6. So Verstappen is only half a tenth inside of that. So Russell at 1:11.7 goes fastest overall. What is Logan Sargeant doing? He's personal best and personal best. As he completed the lap, though, yeah, Logan Sargeant is not going to get through. Sainz only 11th. Carlos Sainz is out. And actually, what's happening out there? Is anyone improving? Leclerc's out. We've lost both Ferraris. What the fuck? If you're new to the channel, sorry, I'm a Ferrari fan. What the hell? I wasn't even watching them. The hell are they doing down there? Was that Stroll over the line then? I've always hated Lance Stroll. No, we've lost Charles Leclerc P11. He was my pole prediction. Well done, Sean. Carlos Sainz P12. Logan Sargeant. I mean, they were. I'm telling you now, looking at the times, and this is absolutely no shade on Logan Sargeant when I say this, but it was only they're only a few hundredths quicker than Sargeant. Sainz says so difficult, no grip. Ferrari are out, both of them, 11th and 12th. I tell you what, we have got a cracking race tomorrow. We've got two Ferraris, if they've got some race pace. I didn't check the race pace, so let me know. Let me know what's going to happen. But yeah, if they've got some race pace tomorrow, and you got Perez, who tends to be better in races anyway, we've got three cars out of position. We could have some fun tomorrow, but or just two massive DRS trains. But there you go. We have lost. Save my tears. We've lost Charles Leclerc, Carlos Sainz, Logan Sargeant, Kevin Magnussen, and Pierre Gasly. Do you know, though, what's weird? I'm gutted that the Ferrari boys are out, but I'm actually kind of just as gutted for Logan Sargeant. I thought, Albon's up in 6th place. I honestly thought Sargeant had a shot here today of top 10, and he wasn't far off, about half a tenth. Jean-Claude says Binotto's ghost in Canada. Maybe, yeah. Oh, no. Apologies for the language, by the way, if that fell out of my mouth. It's post-watershed. Not that it matters on YouTube, but I'm just saying. In the UK, at least. So, yeah. So, if you are just tuning in, what a session. We've lost Sergio Perez. He went out in Q1. He'll be 16th at best tomorrow, or unless somebody gets penalties, of course, but at the moment, 16th. Bottas 17th, Ocon 18th, Hulkenberg 19th, and Zhou in 20th. And then in Q2, we've just lost not one, but two Ferraris. Charles Leclerc, 11th. Carlos Sainz, 12th. Logan Sargeant, he's out, 13th place. Kevin Magnussen, 14th. And Pierre Gasly in 15th place for Alpine. 1.1 seconds. Best part 1.2. Separating the top 15 there. Cheer me up, chat. Tell me a joke. I've still got Q3 to do, and I've got to wrap it all up. Have a quick swig of my drink, which I'm immediately wishing was stronger, but it's not. Oh well. Hey, look, like I say, it might have set up a good race for tomorrow. It might have set up a good race. John T. John says starts raining in Montreal, starts raining in Elkhart Lake. Did I say Elkhart right? Elkhart Lake. Yeah. Ruby, that's harsh. Ruby says, tell me a joke. Ferrari. Oh, that's Rudy. Rudy K. I'm not having that. That's appalling. Absolutely appalling. Oh well. Like I say, it might set up a good race tomorrow. Points to tomorrow. I sound like a team boss now, don't I? Just a bit of a slightly delirious one. Yeah. Oh, that's it. I've seen one asking about footage. There you go. There's Gary. Gary's telling you. I'm not horrible when I do that. I just easy for Gary to tell you. He knows what's going on. I'll remove him. Don't worry in a minute. Don't panic. Yeah. One more session to go then. Q3, the top 10 shootout. Russell, Hamilton, Norris, Tsunoda, Piastri, Albon. Fantastic job by Albon, like I said earlier. Verstappen, Ricciardo, Alonso and Stroll all going for pole position. Let me know in chat. Yes, James, exactly. As soon as I started thinking Ferrari had a chance in the constructors. Exactly. Let me know. One surname. Who are you predicting for pole position? I had Leclerc on Thursday. I'm going to have to change that. Just always that thing, isn't there? In the back of your head, probably Verstappen. Do you know what? Oh, it's close, though. It is close when you get that. Not on that timing screen, but I mean, just generally this weekend, it's been all over the place. Yeah. I think Hamilton's got a shot, or Russell. I'll say a Mercedes. Let's go on Mercedes. I'd prefer Piastri. Tsunoda, Piastri, Albon, or Stroll, and I'd probably go mental. So yeah, again, nothing. Yeah. I'm not gonna keep saying that. I have my favourite drivers and I have my drivers I don't like. But there you go. Not that I don't like Verstappen and Hamilton and Russell. I'm just shut up, Sean. You know what I mean. Before we get into Q3, then, as always, usual spiel, the YouTuber nonsense. Please do leave a like. Nearly 200. Let's get there. 1,500 of you here. We can get that well over 300, I'm sure, if not more. Drop a like on the video. Really helps out the stream in the algorithm and everything that goes with that. Don't forget to subscribe if you're new as well. We're live tomorrow, shortly after the race, for the race reaction. I've got Stuart with me, aka Chamber. We're going to talk about the Canadian Grand Prix. Looking forward to hopefully a cracking race and Ferrari winning from 11th and 12th. And you can support the channel with all the stuff in the description. Streamlabs, I think PayPal's down there possibly. There's also super chats and all that business. And if you are interested in getting lots of data when you're watching F1 and just having a fantastic experience or enhancing your experience, then check out the F1 multi-viewer links in the description. It is brilliant to use. It is so much better than the official timing, he says somewhat quietly. Thank you, Gary, for letting everyone know that. I'm going to let you go now. Don't make me get Gary. That's the line now. He's going to stay there forever. We'll see what happens. See what happens now then. Lots of people predicting a Mercedes pole here. John Jones has said Tsunoda. Jean-Claude has gone Hamilton, Piastri, Russell. Yuki with Albon top 5 says Alfie. Could you imagine Tsunoda celebrates? Could you imagine? Right. Could you imagine? Just take a second. It's not going to happen. But just take a second. Perez celebrates his new contract getting knocked out in Q1. Yuki Tsunoda celebrates it with pole or like a top 3 start or something like that. To be a fly on the wall in a meeting with Helmut Marko and Christian Horner after that one, eh? Not a good Saturday for us, unfortunately. Ferrari understatement of the year. Yeah, basically. As a Merc fan, we're going to throw this and Piastri will get pole. Says, is it Wallman? Who knows? I think this could go... I'm not ruling Verstappen out because it's Verstappen. All the time. But, you know, we've been here so many times. And he just pulls a lap out and sticks it on pole. Look at Imola, you know. Or was it Imola? Might be thinking of Imola, but yeah. He tends to do that. My guess is Rain and Stroll gets it. Says Paint 2D. That'd be fun, wouldn't it? I'd like the Stroll pole would be fun. Just tonight we've already got a nice mixed up grid. Let's have a nice mixed up top 10 as well. Let's get like 5 teams in the top 5 and all the second drivers, whoever those second drivers are. I mean, you'd say Piastri for McLaren, wouldn't you? Stroll for Aston Martin, Albon and Tsunoda. Well, Albon and Ricciardo are your second drivers. I mean, Albon's first driver, but he's not got his teammate in there. But you know what I mean. And yeah, let's have them in the top 5. Let's really mix it up. It's still raining. But it's that fan rain. You don't know you're getting wet. It's what we've had so far in Q2. Really, just it's wet, but it's not hammering it down enough for the need of inters. So yeah, imagine Ricciardo on pole after those comments. Yes, straight to Jacques Villeneuve, Ruby. Get his reaction immediately. You were saying, you know, look, you know me. I don't. Well, it's not a negative spin on it, but just to sort of remind people, because I think sometimes we need to do this as creators, and I think everyone should on social media, but just a little nudge that, one swallow and all that, doesn't make a summer. Just because you have one great qualifying session, one great race, it doesn't mean it erases everything in the past. I know most of you will know that because you are all brilliant, and you know what you're talking about for the most part. I'm the one here who has no idea. So there you go. So Piastri then. We're coming up to 10 minutes then. The fight for pole is on. Everybody on track except Russell and Hamilton. Have they used all their tyres and new tyres? Possibly. Or are they heading out? They might be heading out. No, they're not. They're still sat in the garage. So there you go. What can Piastri do? Purple in the middle sector. Purple first sector for Verstappen. So he's hooking up at the moment. Actually, a couple of tenths quicker than Piastri in the first sector. And matches him more or less just slightly down in the first sector. Tsunoda goes up to second, but not with a time. So I'm guessing that's a sector thing. Yeah, it is. He's on his outlap, isn't he? So let's see what's going to happen. Here comes Oscar Piastri over the line, a 1:12.7. They're going to get quicker, you'd expect. Verstappen out that fight. Every time they cut to the final corner, whoever it is, I get excited. There you go. There's Verstappen, 4 tenths quicker than Piastri. Again, these times are just going to keep coming down unless the rain does hit. The sun looks to be coming out now, so we might get a dry Q3. Norris only a 13.3. Everyone on used tyres, according to the app. So if that is the case, then explains a lot. So the TV stuttering there, or the coverage stuttering. Lance Stroll. 20.5, 23.2 comes into the final chicane, and he's going to go over the line, and it will be a 13.1 behind his teammate. 4 tenths behind Fernando. Alonso is P3. Alex Albon coming down that long back straight now. What's he going to do? Some obviously personal best because he's not set a time yet. 20.6, 25.7. So he's not threatening the fastest time here. This is where he goes and sticks it on pole and surprises me, but he's not threatening the fastest time, but get the banker in just in case. 13.2 and P5 for Alex Albon. This is going to be, this could be fun. Not seen anything yet, Pat, on Ferrari. I've got my headphones on so I can just hear. I don't really have it on for Crofty and that. I have it on just in case there's an interview or Ted Kravitz has information so I can hear that. So, yeah. If I hear anything, I'll let you know. I'll check socials in a minute. We'll wrap everything up after the session. I'll see if I can find anything that they've said. But we'll see. We'll see. Russell, 1.5 tenths quicker in the first sector than Verstappen. What's Hamilton going to do? Also 1.5 tenths quicker. These two are... Oh, there's 0.02. Hamilton 0.02 of a second quicker than Russell in the first sector. This could be Hamilton versus Russell for pole position. I'm always wary to say things like that because it'll be somebody else's surprise. But 22.7 for George Russell and 22.7 as well for Hamilton. There is nothing between the two Mercs here. This is going to go, all down to this final sector. And there's traffic for Russell. Are they going to get out of the way? He's got a little toe as well, which will help him, but he should be okay. Into the final chicane. Nicely through there, up against the wall. And across the line, shortest distance. It's a 112 flat, exactly 112. What does Lewis Hamilton do over the line? It's a 112.280. So Russell's final sector was pretty good there. Was that toe from Albon helping? 3 tenths quicker than Lewis Hamilton. There you go. This is close. We could have an all Mercedes front row, and this could be very, very close. But that's a good time from George. But we have been in the 11s today. 1:11.9, I think, didn't we, in the last session? So I don't know, Jack. I don't even dare ask. I'm not going to read it out in case it's terrible. Ruby's nervous. Yep, I know, Ruby. You'll be fine. Everyone come in the pits then. I'm gonna have to have a good drink here because this is gonna get interesting, I think. Not that the rest of the session hasn't been interesting. It's been great fun this session. Thank you for keeping me company. I'm not sure I could deal with a double Ferrari Q2 elimination on my own. Apparently, well, it's not even a joke. Jack says that 11, 17, and 16 are Sergio Perez's last qualifying positions. Is that true? Is that 3 pre-Q3 exits then? That's incredible. Lando is in the pits, I believe, 113.3. Whoa, very close to the wall there from one of the Mercedes. Lewis Hamilton, I think it was indeed. But Norris is just going out on track now. Piastri's out there too. So they're going to get they're going in the gap. Or they're just going to do a couple of laps and get some, 11th in Imola it was, get some heat into the tyres. Clansom says, Martin Brundle says, Merc are the team to beat. That's easy analysis though. Because they are 1 and 2. So they are officially the team to beat right now because they've got the top 2 positions. But I know what he's getting at. They've been rapid since P3 really. They've been in the mix throughout the rest of the weekend, but you can't really read anything into FP1, FP2 because of the weather. But Piastri's gone through on a personal best, but he's still just over a 10th down on Russell. So it doesn't look like Aussie P's getting it today. At the moment, it can all change. Of course, it can all change. He could have a unbelievable middle sector or get another run, which he should be able to go and recharge the batteries and have another run shortly. But it will be a second lap on those tyres, which might not be a bad thing. Get some heat in there. It is new tyres, by the way, for the 2 McLarens and for Alex Albon as well. So it was used tyres to start with, and now it's all the new tyres. So I'm guessing with all the laps they've done in Q1 and Q2, they've just chewed through them. But expect a medium hard or a medium hard medium tomorrow for the race. Some combination of that, 1 or 2 stops. It's unlikely we'll see the softs unless somebody wants to go for fastest lap, as Piastri improved over the lap, actually got a purple final sector, did a 1:12.1 and is just 1/10 of a second off pole position as it stands. So get back, charge up, get some heat in the tyres and go again. He might be in the fight here, but that first sector was poor in comparison to Russell. Norris actually improving as well, and he's only a few hundredths, just less than a 10th actually, off George Russell at the moment is Lando Norris. So we've got something here. We've got something. Don't underestimate the McLaren, says Edel. I'm sure they will have a surprise up their sleeves. I hope so. I'm still hoping Ferrari are going to surprise them. They are actually in the top 10 and they've just repainted their cars or something, but it doesn't look like it. Norris over the line. What's he going to do? He's not the fastest. Oh, that is close. 2/100ths of a second. So Russell, really strong first sector. Both McLarens really good in the final sector. So that's something to bear in mind for tomorrow, possibly. But we've got Russell, 2/100ths of a second clear of Norris, who's just a few more hundredths clear of Piastri. Hamilton is 4th, nearly 3/10 off his teammate, but we'll see if he can improve from there. Verstappen is 3.5 down and just going out now. Alonso P6, Stroll P7, Albon P8, Tsunoda 9th, and Ricciardo in 10th place. 1.7 separating the top 10 at the moment. Hopefully that'll come down a little bit. I'd like do you know what? I guess it would be a surprise if Mercedes got pole, but I'd like a big surprise for pole position. That'd be nice. But I guess there's going to be a lot of people now saying, sure, Mercedes would these days. In their current position, that would be a surprise pole. So I guess that's what we're looking good for here. Or possible. It's possible. We'll see. What's Stroll going to do? Not going to be pole with that. 2.5 down in the first sector. Is he going to keep it going? He is going to keep going. See what he can do. Minute and a half to go. This is it. These laps are the laps. Last chances to get pole position. At the minute, Russell's got it, but we'll see. It's very close. It is very, very close. Stroll half a second down, actually, in the middle sector. So I don't think, unless he's got the most incredible car in a straight line, and maybe a tow from Verstappen, it needs to be a hell of a tow from Verstappen. In fact, Stroll might need to jump in that car if he's going to do it from here, but we'll see. Is Verstappen going to get out? No, does he need to? He's in the final. He's all right. He should be okay. Just Stroll was getting closer, and I wondered if Verstappen might need to hop out of the way, but he didn't. Over the line goes Stroll and improves to 6th place, 1:12.70 1. Ricciardo's improving, 20.1, 22.9. His sector, actually his first sector quicker than Piastri. And his second sector only marginally slower. So this could be interesting. What Ricciardo can do. Can he out-qualify Yuki Tsunoda? That'll be big for Ricciardo at the moment. Verstappen's flying. Ricciardo goes 4th, a 1:12.1. Great lap from Danny Rick. Alonso's pushing as well. He's personal best and personal best. He's coming to the line now. 12 seconds to go. Alonso on a 1:12.228 goes into 5th place. The checkered flag is about to fly. Verstappen is on one. What's he doing in the middle sector? He's slower. Half a tenth. So he was flying in the first sector. Half a tenth down the middle. That is the flag. These laps matter. Hamilton is not improving. He's actually down on Russell by 100th of a second, 200th of a second in the first sector. Russell improving on his own best time, but not purple in the first sector. So Verstappen needs a really strong. Tsunoda only goes 8th, so Ricciardo has out-qualified Yuki Tsunoda. 1:12.4, I think it was for Tsunoda. What's Verstappen going to do? Over the line. Is it going to be it's second? Oh, exactly the same time. Exactly the same time as George Russell. 1:12 flat. George Russell has pole because he set it first. Does he improve at all? Over the line he goes. He doesn't. And unless Lewis Hamilton could do something incredible in the final sector, which he doesn't like he's going to, George Russell is on pole position. He is for Mercedes with exactly the same time as Max Verstappen. Russell, a 1:12.000. Max Verstappen, a 1:12.000. Lando Norris, P3, 200th of a second off pole position. Oscar Piastri in 4th place, a 10th off. Daniel Ricciardo in 5th, fantastic lap. 0.178 off. 2/10 off his Alonso. Hamilton, surprising, down in 7th actually. 3/10 off his teammate almost. 4/10 for Tsunoda. 7/10 for Stroll in 9th. And Alex Albon just shy of 8/10 in 10th place. So it is George Russell on pole position, a smirk, a wry grin from Toto Wolff as George Russell gets pole position. Max Verstappen, that's a great front row tomorrow. Yeah, that's a great front row for tomorrow. We've got Ferraris out of position. We've got a great front row. We've got Perez out of position. This has set us up very nicely tomorrow. And McLaren are right in there as well. So, very quickly running through the order. We'll do this another time in a bit as well. George Russell is has pole position for the Canadian Grand Prix. Max Verstappen, 2nd place on exactly the same time. If you're new to F1, the driver who sets the time first gets priority in that situation. So George Russell gets the pole. Norris 3rd, Oscar Piastri 4th, Daniel Ricciardo 5th. It's 6th place for Fernando Alonso, 7th for Lewis Hamilton. A lot of people in chat thought he had a shot at pole today and didn't hook it up on that last lap. Interesting to see what it says afterwards. Tsunoda in 8th place, out-qualified by Ricciardo, but that's still a very good qualifying session for RB. Lance Stroll in 9th, Alex Albon 10th, and then it's Charles Leclerc 11th. Carlos Sainz and Charles Leclerc 11th and 12th. Oh dear. 13th for Sargeant, 14th for Magnussen, 15th Gasly, 16th for Sergio Perez in the second Red Bull, 17th for Bottas, 18th for Ocon, 19th for Hulkenberg, and 20th for Zhou Guan Yu. I will stick around for the next 20 minutes to half an hour. We'll wrap up qualifying. I'll take some questions and that. A lot of you, I'm sure, will disappear now, as tends to be the case with Watchalongs. But before you go, please do drop a like. And thank you for joining me. But please do leave a like before you go to support the channel. And subscribe as well so you don't miss out on future content. We are live tomorrow after the race for some, obviously, race reaction and discuss everything that's been happening in Canada and the wider world of F1. Shortly after, about an hour after the race finishes, whatever time that will be tomorrow. So please do subscribe and drop a like before you go. That'll be massively appreciated. And thank you if you are leaving for the support today. Great to spend some time with you on this Saturday evening, morning, afternoon, wherever you are. But for those of you sticking around, get your questions in the chat. We'll do some Q&A. I'll run through the times a little bit later and wrap things up. I'm going to go to social media now to see what is being said. You're very well. Although say thank you in chat, you're very welcome. Thank you for joining me. I should be thanking you, but I appreciate your company. It's been a lot of fun as always. As always, I love the qualifying watch-alongs. There's a temptation to do the race watch-alongs, but the problem is that it would mean I can't do the race reaction because I wouldn't be paying any attention. I'd be too busy talking to you lot. So I need to do the race reaction because that's the content people prefer. But we'll see what happens in the future. You never know. But there you go. We got any news on Ferrari? Jonty's now sending me mean messages on Twitter because he's a bully in the nicest possible terms. Memes about Ferrari. I'm going to cry now. Jonty, you're mean. You're horrible to me. See what Ferrari is saying, but they don't tend to say an awful lot on the socials when it doesn't go well. To be fair to Ferrari, not many teams do. But we've got some work ahead of us tomorrow, was what they tweeted. I'm not sure if Charles Leclerc has said anything specific or if anybody else has said anything. We'll find out in a moment. Just checking what's going on, really, around F1. No. Nothing. And if you know, let me know in the chat and I'll read it out. But I don't think there's been anything here to suggest that there's any kind of issue or traffic or anything like that. It just, from the radio messages, Sainz said he had no grip, so that's what his problem was, and Leclerc didn't sound very happy at all. So I think it is just a pace thing. But to be fair, Leclerc did say in practice that they're not quick. So there we go. So George Russell on pole. Looking forward to that. It's turn 1 tomorrow. Strong possibility a McLaren could be leading by turn 2. We'll see what happens. No, it's, I think in race trim, I don't like doing this because we've just seen George Russell put in a great lap, get pole position in a car that's really not very good. It's doing well this weekend, but it's not a great car. So I don't like to turn to this. But I think on race pace, over the course of a Grand Prix, what we've seen from Mercedes this year, I don't think he's going to fall rapidly back through the field. But I think, Verstappen, maybe the McLarens as well, and anybody coming through, I think that he's going to struggle to win it, is what I'm saying. But I don't want to be negative today for George Russell. It's he's got pole position. Who's doing the interview? Jolyon Palmer doing the interviews. There you go. So Ferrari will have extra sauce for tomorrow, says Raul. That's a good point. Could it be? It's difficult, isn't it? Deg. Well, the Deg's not too high around Canada. It's mostly graining because the track's still going to be relatively green tomorrow. If it rains overnight, which I think it's forecast to do, the graining could be an issue tomorrow. So not be much rubber down. So that's on the softer tyres. That might be a problem. But I mean, is it worth the Ferrari? At least one of the Ferraris to split the strategy, stick Leclerc or Sainz on the softs and go for it at the start, gain some place off the line, maybe. My concern as a Ferrari fan is that that's two Ferraris smack bang in the middle of the pack going into a pinch point that so many times over the years has caused so many problems at the start, and that's a worry for me. But Ocon's going to be at the back. Perez and Magnussen are further back. And Russell's at the front, so they should be all right. They might be okay. He says, slightly tongue-in-cheek, but also, why not? Yeah, I think you can stick the softs on at the start if they got some spare ones. But like I said earlier, I think the strategy tomorrow, the optimum strategy is it's 2 stops last year, wasn't it? It's a 1 stop, pushing to a 2, medium hard medium, or medium hard, or something like that. But I think if you're Perez, you're putting the hards on at the start tomorrow, surely, running them as far as you can. But there's a good chance of a safety car in Canada. So maybe putting softs on early, and then if a safety car comes out in the first couple of laps, or even a red flag, you've got rid of them and you can put your harder tyres on and save them for later in the race, can't you? So could be options. Sean, you want hope on Merc? This is a power track and with slow and fast corners. I think. There we go. Are we back? Are we working? I think the stream, you might be a bit behind me, guys, but I think the stream just went down. Let me know when you're back. I'll sit here and do a little dance while I wait for you to come back. We are back. We are so back, Seta. We are so back. Yes. I was being so careful. I have a mic on. I was being so careful not to be swearing then. Just in case. We are good. We're back. There we go. Sorry about that. I don't know what that was. YouTube having a moment. My internet was fine. But there you go. There we go. Yeah. I think we're back. If we're not, then refresh the stream, which is a pointless thing to say, because if you can't hear me, then you don't have to refresh the stream, but I'm sure that we're there. So, yeah, get your questions in. Let's do some Q&A. But for those tuning in later tonight and don't want to listen to all the waffle that came before it, George Russell is on pole position for the Canadian Grand Prix. He set the fastest time of the day, or the equal fastest time of the day, or in Q3 at least, a 1:12 flat. He starts ahead of Max Verstappen, who also Set a 1:12 flat. Identical times. Russell said it first, so he gets pole position. Great front row for tomorrow. Lando Norris, third place, just a couple of hundreds behind. Fourth place, Oscar Piastri, a 10th off the pole time. Daniel Ricciardo, one of the drivers of the day in qualifying on a 1:12.1 in fifth place, 0.2 of a second off the fastest time. Fernando Alonso in sixth, a couple of tenths back, with Lewis Hamilton in seventh place, 0.3 back. As I'm sure many of you watching this will have said, and those that are here now were saying it, they thought Hamilton had a shot at pole, so I don't know what happened on that final lap. Interesting to see what he says. Yuki Tsunoda, 4 tenths off in 8th place, with Lance Stroll in 9th and Alex Albon in 10th, 8 tenths separating the field. Both Ferraris were knocked out in Q2. Leclerc will start 11th, Sainz 12th, with Logan Sargeant, who I think was another driver of the day, despite the fact he got knocked out. I think he was very, very strong in 13th place. Kevin Magnussen 14th and Pierre Gasly in 15th. And then the back end of the grid, Sergio Perez knocked out in Q1 for the second weekend in a row, P16. Valtteri Bottas 17th, Esteban Ocon 18th, Nico Hulkenberg 19th, and Zhou Guanyu finished off the pack in 20th place. But Esteban Ocon, of course, unless others get penalties, in fact, I think he still goes back anyway, has a 5-place grid drop and will start from the back of the grid tomorrow for that incident with Pierre Gasly in Monaco. Yes. Thank you very much to Thomas Molly for your super chat. Says Tiamat Marduk said Perez is basically a pay driver at this point, and I can't really refute that. Thank you very much for your super chat. Appreciate the support there. It's a, you know, one of the reasons he's in that seat is because he does bring money. I mean, that's absolutely. I said it in the Planet F1 video that I did at the end of the day. You know, Red Bull have got plenty of cash, but you're not turning your nose up at more, are you? But I think, yeah, he needs to step it up. Is the ultimate review for Sergio Perez, and I know that is a what's the word I'm looking for? Obvious analysis, but you know he needs to step it up. A couple of people saying that my voice is breaking up. Is everything all right audio wise? We still got problems? Let me know in chat. It could be problems. It could be. Abdel wants to know, why does Russell get to be first? So when two people have the same time in F1 in qualifying, the driver who set it first gets a priority. So because Russell got across the line first, set that time, Verstappen did it second, Russell gets a priority there. If you're newish to F1, definitely go back to, was it Jerez 97? Jerez 97. Top three drivers all said exactly the same time. Unbelievable. Apparently the audio is bad for some people. Just try hit the refresh button. It might help. Yeah, I know, Samurai. Tell me about it. It was a long time ago. It was a bloody long time ago. 97. Feels like yesterday. But yes, no, it is 1997. If the stream keeps playing up for everybody, I'll cut my losses and. 2017 US quali, was that the top three though? I just because it's something that was just so amazing. There was all sorts of reports at the time. There was timing, screen problems, and all sorts. And maybe it wasn't true, but that's how it worked out, wasn't it? We got those top three there. So yes, race tomorrow then. What are we thinking? Like I said earlier, I don't really negative about it, but I'd be surprised if Russell can win it from here. I think Verstappen in race trim. The McLaren's in race trim. I mean, Verstappen's at the same time, and we know the Red Bull tends to be even better in the race and qualifying. So I'd be surprised if Russell hangs on to that. So Verstappen, Norris, Piastri have got a shot at the win. But what I'm most looking forward to, you've got Ricciardo. Looking at the championship, Ricciardo's out of position, but based on the pace that RB have shown this weekend, he's not. He's there legitimately, so that's not very fair, is it, to say that? But I would. How long he can hang on there, the battle he's going to have with Alonso, and Hamilton's going to want to come through if Russell's up there. You've got the Ferraris, they've got to come back through the field from 11th and 12th. Have they got the race pace to do it? Perez down in 16th place. What's he going to do from back there? It's going to be. I think we're off for a good race tomorrow. My only concern, and it's the same concern I have with F1 every time there's a race and a grid that looks remotely exciting, is DRS trains. Bye, Wallman. Thank you for stopping by. Appreciate your company. It's DRS trains because you've got a long back straight. We know what these cars are like for following. I'd hate to see, 2 distinct packs of DRS trains and nothing really happening when we've got these cars out of position. So it'd be fantastic to see some action. I kind of feel like we're long overdue, and chaos isn't everything. I want to see great racing, and if chaos comes, fine, but I want to see great racing, close racing, wheel-to-wheel stuff, following each other closely, but with opportunities to pass. That's what I want to see. But I do feel like we are long overdue for an absolute mess of a race. I'm trying to think of the last time we could actually look at a race and go, that was bonkers. I kind of feel like we're overdue one of them. And maybe with the rain in the air tomorrow, maybe this could be it. Thank you to Ruby for your super chat and your support. Says Lewis will still win tomorrow. I shouldn't have laughed at Ferrari. You love the Watchalongs, by the way. Yeah, serves you right, Ruby, for laughing at Ferrari. No, thank you for your support, and it's good to have you here. Hopefully see you. If not tomorrow in the reaction, hopefully see you for the Spain Watchalong. Spain qualifying Watchalong. Oh, Spain. Yeah, that's going to be a thrilling weekend, isn't it? Not one of my favourite tracks, let's put it that way. And in case you didn't catch it at the start, by the way, just a reminder that throughout June, it is mostly, in fact, probably always going to be race weekend content because I'm working on content with Planet F1 over on their rebooted YouTube channel. So I'm going to be busy with that. And I've been flat out all week. So it's genuinely been really nice to just sit here, watch quali and talk nonsense with you guys because it's been a very busy week. And I've got a very busy week next week and then the week after. So, yeah. It's nice to just chill. I might get some beers for Spain. Or well, not plural. God, half a beer and I'll be drunk. Yeah. John T says official announcement. No, not really. If you're on about the PF1 thing, yes, Moray. Yes, don't worry. Yes. Yeah, it's not really an announcement as such. I'm just they've rebooted the YouTube channel. I'm doing, I'm writing some analysis. I'm then recording that and editing the audio. I send it off to them. Their team then edit that video. So we've got a structure in place, and that's how we work at the minute. So it's been a lot of fun. It's been it's been really cool just to be able to what's the phrase I'm looking for? Just to be able to like throw ideas around with somebody else and be able to talk about stuff and put my scripting in, if you like, and then them going, yeah, that's great. It's been a lot of fun. It's been a lot of fun, so I'm enjoying it, and we'll see where it ends up in the future. But for June, it's happening for June, for all of June. So we'll see what happens after that. But that's their call. But I've been enjoying it. So that's where I've been. So I've not, I pinned a comment in the preview. We'll get back to qualifying. I pinned a comment in the preview and just said I've not been lazy. I've not just been doing nothing since the last race. I have been busy, and I'm going to be busy the rest of this week and next week, and then But I'm not abandoning the F1 word. Don't worry. I'm always going to be here in some way, so don't worry. This is something on top of it, but we'll see how we go. So thank you for the kind words. I appreciate that. Anyway, qualifying. Any questions on qualifying before we wrap it up? I've answered that one, so we'll not do that one again. I'll take your questions and your comments for 15 minutes or so, and we'll see where we go. Alonso DRS training coming, says Hector. We'll do predictions as well in a bit. See how we go. Samurai says, I still have hope that Perez will deliver. It's interesting, isn't it? Because they've obviously seen something there that they're happy with. And I don't think it is, as a lot of potentially skeptical people, if you like, online will say, that it's just because he doesn't challenge Verstappen. I think there is more there. And it's not just money either. It's going to be a combination of a few things. So they must hold out the same hope that Samurai has there, that he's going to perform. But it's really... Yeah, I hope he does, because that's as I keep saying, that just simply is not good enough. Let's have a look at the weather for tomorrow then. That's just popped up a couple of sides in chat. Circuit Gilles-Villeneuve, what a driver, by the way. Weather, oh goodness. What time's the race? So about a 57% chance of rain on the weather on the old Google. I'll ask the Met Office, but they are Yeah, they're 60%, 60%, so 57 to 60% chance of rain at the moment tomorrow. 19 degrees in time for lights out. So rain is around, but that is still a 40% chance. Yes. So the 40% chance it'll stay dry. You know what happened? There's a bone dry race. But yeah, 60% is what we've got at the moment. So yeah, I was just going to say, actually, I was looking at the stats, Johannes, just like Q2 lap was the fastest. It was a 1:11.9, wasn't it? So it's, yeah, Q2 was quicker. But we're pretty close to it. Pretty close to it. I'm sort of looking at some of this conversation, trying to pick a question out because it looks like an interesting conversation, but yeah, we'll see. 8 drivers will finish, and Lance will be P1, says Hector. Why not? Why not? Lance Stroll on home soil will be pretty cool. Maybe it will rain. Yeah, we just said about the rain, 60% chance. So yeah, that's true as well. Lee Nook says good thing with the rain is no DRS, so no DRS train, just rain, rain. Yeah, train and rain. Will Magnussen get a race ban, says Ruby. If he doesn't behave himself, yeah, he's got a long way to go before any points are taken off that license. It's March, isn't it? So I'd be amazed if Magnussen doesn't hit the threshold. Whether or not the FIA follow through on a ban, yes, it says it in the rules, but we've yet to see it, is a whole other question. So we'll see on that one in the future. Gordon says all about giving the number one another world title, nothing else. Yeah, but you need your second driver up there to keep the others at bay and help out. As we saw in, we're not going to get into it today, don't worry. Abu Dhabi 21, the defending from Sergio Perez, hugely important in those situations. We saw Schumacher and Barrichello and other partnerships throughout the years. You need your second driver up there, and with, apart from today, 2 Ferraris and 2 McLarens up there, that's a threat to Verstappen. They need Perez to be taking points off them as well. So, yeah. Mark says Hamilton looks disappointed post-quali. Yeah, I can imagine he is, because I mean, Russell's on pole. He's out-qualified again. And I think a lot of people said he had a shot at pole, and I think he did. He did seem to. So, I think he will be disappointed. But tomorrow's the points. You never know. Mercedes is always strong on race pace, says Johannes. Yeah, so that could bring Hamilton back into play tomorrow. I still think... look, it'd be nice to see somebody other than a Red Bull, a McLaren or a Ferrari win, wouldn't it? So maybe a Mercedes win for the first time since... It's not Brazil. Is it Brazil 2022, the last Mercedes win? It can't be. Hamilton's not won since Saudi Arabia 21. Bloody hell, doesn't time fly? Christ, sorry. Yeah, no, yeah, wow. Sorry, I don't know how that's taken me by surprise. It just has Brazil, yeah. It was Russell as well, wasn't it? Brazil 22. Wow, that's a long time. Sorry, that is... It's no wonder Ruby gives me grief. She's really not happy about that. I didn't even realise. I didn't even twig how long it had been. Christ. Wow. Let me know, Jonty, by the way, who gets pole in IndyCar. I'm not going to be able to watch the race tomorrow, so I'll be watching this and then doing the post-race stream, but I'll watch it on some point. Was Albon's car damaged? That's Mark, question mark. I can have a check, see if anything's come through from the team on either social media or in the old email inbox. But I didn't hear anything in comms or anything, but that doesn't mean it wasn't there because I was talking as well, so I may not have heard. So let's have a look. Fantastic effort from our duo, sets us up for an exciting Canadian Grand Prix tomorrow. 10th for Albon, Sargeant P13. Let's search Albon damage. Multitasking. James Vowles believes the damage on Albon's car is not severe and he should take part in qualifying. So that was the last thing on damage for Albon when he hit the wall of champions earlier in FP3. So nothing on the lap itself. Yeah, they're just analysing the pole lap on Sky. So yeah. Linus Lundqvist, rookie did a massive lap. Newgard binned it hard, but is okay. Okay, I'll have a look at that later, Jonty. Thank you for letting me know. Is Malukas back this weekend? Sorry, why are we talking IndyCar? No, stop it. I'll message you later, Jonty. It's fine. Perez hasn't had a look in since he won in Abu Dhabi, and Yoss was none too happy about it, says Gordon. But remember, Lewis was fighting for P2 in 2023. Yes, that's true. That is true. Just Red Bull just unstoppable last year, weren't they? Apart from Singapore, obviously. So I'll answer it again because Fub might be just coming in. But do you think George can win? My feeling is that I think on race pace, Verstappen and the McLarens might have too much, but it doesn't mean he can't. He could win, and he can win, but I think he might need a bit of luck to do it, but he's put himself in a great place, and he keeps himself out of trouble into turn 1 in theory. So we'll see how that goes. We've answered that one. Wasn't Gary SpongeBob's pet snail? Says Richie. I have no idea. You'll all be horrified now. I've never seen SpongeBob. It's probably because I'm 38. I didn't grow up with it, so I think it was just after my time, if you like, growing up. Karun is analysing the laps. It looks like it was mainly the tow from Albon that gave George pole. Says John T. Can I just say, take a second, it doesn't happen very often. I called that when we were watching it, that tow could be critical. And there you go. So actually, that tow from Albon could be what got Russell pole, because it only needs a thousandth of a second, doesn't it? And Verstappen gets ahead of him. So there you go. Nate says, what in the 1997 European Grand Prix? Alexander says, how the F did Perez go out in Q1? I don't know. I don't know. He said, I think he's struggling with tyre temperature at one point. So that's going to be a factor. But, the reality is, and do you know what I'm going to do before I even say it? Because I might be wrong. And the reality may not be the reality, if you know what I'm saying. Let's just go and check something very, very quickly. I can't seem to find it now, but I was just going to say that I don't think he's been quick all weekend, Perez. At all. No, I don't think he's been quick all weekend. So I just don't think the pace has been there. And the Red Bull struggles around, riding the curbs. Yes, the track's being resurfaced, but it's still bumpy, and we saw in Monaco that was a problem for them. So that's going to be a factor, and maybe Perez just isn't as able to drive around those problems as, say, someone of Max Verstappen's ability is. So you throw that in there, cold tyres, struggling anyway, not great pace, all that together, the perfect storm, I suppose. Although, yeah, not really quite so perfect for Perez would be what I would say. But if somebody in chat can correct me on that one, let me know. But it's all right. I tell you, right. We're going to wrap up in a minute, very, very quickly. I'll keep an eye out for questions, but first question: one surname. Who was your qualifier? Who was your driver of the day for qualifying? I think your contenders for me: George Russell got pole position, of course. Daniel Ricciardo, I think, is a contender, and I think both the Williams guys can be in there. Yes, Sargeant was 13th and out qualified by Albon, but it was only a few hundredths off Q1 and not far off the Ferraris at all. So I think that's, yeah, they're your contenders. But I'm gonna go Ricciardo today for a couple of reasons. First of all, I think that's a great lap to go P5. And the second reason, because I've been a bit harsh on Ricciardo. Not as harsh as Jacques Villeneuve was, but I was harsh. I've been harsh on Danny Ricciardo at times this season, so it's nice to see something positive. So I'll go with Danny Rick, but they will be my nominations. Strolls, says Pascal. Oh, hang on a second. Charles Leclerc is talking. Let me just... So I'm going to listen. So I might go quiet for a second while you put your drivers of the day in, so apologies, but I'm going to have a listen, see what he says. It's the usual, we're going to review everything line that you get for Ferrari. And I'll look into it. Yeah, okay, Charles, come on. It says every time it's dry, we were nowhere this weekend. So where's the pace gone for Ferrari? That's infuriating and concerning. And they don't understand it, which is obvious, because if they understood it, then they wouldn't be slow, would they? So, so Charlotte says the car feels bad, just feels bad. Yeah, so to answer the question, why Ferrari there, the car's just bad. Sainz looks like he's laughing. I think he's just bemused by where they are. Lack of grip. I said that about Carlos. I said on the radio, didn't he? So, lack of grip, lack of pace. When it's dry, they're nowhere. That doesn't bode well, does it, for tomorrow or the rest of this season? We're all, Maybe McLaren are the hope for the Constructors' Championship fight. We shall see. But yeah, that's what they're saying at the moment. Yeah, that's a shame. That's a shame. Yeah, so a lot of the drivers of the day going in. We've got Ricciardo, Russell's in there as well. Gary, of course. Gary definitely gets in there. Russell, Stroll, Maldonado, Ricciardo, Perez for pride and the humour, says Dell. There you go. Lee Nook says Gasly, question mark. For driver of the day, no, not for that. He was my driver of the day last time for qualifying Watchalong because he stunned me and he got my prediction right. So that's the way I go. Who's getting the win then? That was my second question. Let me know in chat who's getting the win, and then we're going to call it there on the stream because it's 10:30 now. So that's the 2 hour points. We are going to overrun slightly. But yeah, who are you going to go for the win? I'm going to go with Verstappen. I'll be boring. I'm not going to be confident on Leclerc coming from 11th place, especially after that interview to win. So I'm not expecting that. So I will go with Max Verstappen for the win, hoping for Piastri. I'm so desperate, pathetically desperate for Oscar Piastri to win a race this year. I really am. It would be great to see Russell do it as well, just because it's another driver winning a race this year from another team. It makes it interesting. He had a great lap there to get pole position, so he deserves a chance. But I'd love to see Piastri do it, but I'm going to go for Verstappen because no matter what I do, even when I'm doing predictions in a preview, every time I pick somebody else, my brain's going, yeah, Sean, but Max exists. And it's like, yes, damn it. So yeah, so hoping for Piastri, think it'll be Verstappen, would be just looking forward to what's going to be a great race. And I'm hoping Ferrari can pick up some decent points from there. But yeah. Oh, God. It's just going to be depressing, isn't it? You think it's bad now? Wait for the race reaction when they finish. Better both take each other out into turn one or something. I'm just sobbing for 2 hours and Stuart's having to carry the stream. Hulkenberg had a late rear wing change and got off on the wrong foot, he says Pedder. Okay, thank you, Pedder. That's good info. So he's 19th. That'll be why he's 19th then, yeah. There you go. Thank you. I appreciate that, Pedder. Yer says Max. Mark says Supermax. Maury says Piastri. Eddie's gone with Driver of the Day Rogro. Why not? C64 thinks Zhou's going to win. Oh. Do you know, the kind of race we'd need for Zhou Guanyu to win from 20th, I'm with you, C64. What fun that would be. Alice says Verstappen, of course. Max for Alexander. Hamilton for the win for Ruby, obviously. I think Norris really steps up today, says Alexandra. John T says Piastri after George and Max doing a verse at turn one. Both of them. That'd be fun. Not for them. Pascal says Piastri. Mark says Piastri interviews like Kimmy. I love Oscar Piastri. Danka says Norris after Russell crashes Verstappen out. 8 cars covered by 4/10. So the FIA says let's change the cars. Oh, don't, Ron. Don't. Well, I will do a stream in a midweek at some point and we'll have a proper chat about it. But oh my God. I just wish they'd leave the regulations alone for a nice long period of time. Because look at how the field converges over time. It happens. Charles not in the top 10 says Zara. No, got knocked out with Carlos Sainz 11th and 12th in Q2. So that's frustrating. There was so there's gusty wind on the head straight. Russell got a slight toe on his lap, says Ron. Joseph says Piastri for the win. Ruby says, does Max have an investigation? Yeah, it's the not following race director's event note, so it'll be a reprimand or a ticking off or a don't do that again, you naughty boy, that kind of thing, because he was pushing in line in the queue in the pits, and it's one of those investigations they'll do, and we'll all go, oh God, I wonder what it's going to be, and it's usually just a slap on the wrist, which, whatever, that's just what it is. John T, yeah, we could do a 2026 stream if you want, John T. I don't know if we can do it this coming week because I'm going to be flat out this week. So, but we'll see. And anybody else for a prediction, or we're going to wrap it up there? Read a couple more comments while we're doing this one. Mercedes is low on downforce, says Johannes. Toto is on the interview right now, says Pedder. Yeah, I've got the Sky coverage, so I can't see that one. There's an advert here for House of the Dragon, so Sean's just completely distracted now. I apologise. Oh, I apologise. It's my channel. Let's talk about House of the Dragon. Let's do it. No. That's 17th of June, if you're interested. Can't wait. Cheers, Johannes. Thank you for coming along. Really appreciate it. Your company for the day. Good to see you. And Flash Barry says, my boy is 5th, and I'm pleased. And Eddie says, McLaren 1-2, Lewis 3rd. And Raoul says, Summer Stream on Twitter. Summer Stream. Summer stream on 2026. Not a bad idea, actually, that one. We'll see how we go with that. There'll be plenty of streams in the summer because I like streaming anyway. But yeah, I think we're done. We'll leave it there then. So thank you so much, everybody, for your company this evening. It's been a pleasure as always. Always great to hang out and talk F1 with you all. And of course, we'll keep doing these throughout the season because I'm enjoying them. I think those who are here seem to be enjoying them, so that's fantastic. And thank you for joining me for this one. So, I will be back tomorrow at some race starts at 7 p.m. UK time. I tend to allow an hour and a half. It's usually about that, so that's 8:30. So around probably about 9:30 p.m. UK BST. Could be later depending on safety cars and potential red flags. With the race reaction, of course, with Stuart as well, aka Chamber, to talk all things Canada and the wider world of F1. Plenty to talk about now, as well as hopefully a really great race tomorrow. The grid looks good. We'll see how it goes. I will be back for that tomorrow. Just a reminder, of course, to drop a like before you go. We've got 600 still here, 334 likes. Let's see if I'm going to be ambitious here, and I trust you all to do it because you're great. Let's see if we can get that to 400 while I'm signing off. So we need about 70 likes to do it. It's a massive ask, but if anyone can do it, it's you lot. So please do leave a like. And don't forget to subscribe as well if you are new for that race reaction tomorrow. And of course, we'll be doing this all again for Spain, Austria and Silverstone. Don't forget that after a week off from races next week, or F1 races next week, we've got 5 races in 6 weeks. So it is all going to be mental till the summer stream. Till the summer break. So I'm reading comments while I speak for the summer break. So yes, that would be great to have you on board for that one. Lots to come. You can follow me on social media at F1 Word on the old Twitter's Xy Theory place. The F1 Word on Instagram. Not that I ever use it, but you can if you like. And of course Facebook as well. They're about there somewhere. Just look for the F1 Word. It is there. And don't forget to check out Multiview at F1. Multiview for F1. Links in the description if you want to customize your viewing experience with F1. Loads. Is it Le Mans next week as well? Is it Le Mans already? Oh, forgot about that. There we go. Anyway, yes. But as ever, thank you for watching. I've been Sean. This has been the F1 Word. And until next time, goodbye.